Reincarnated in a game world CH 51 to 100. CH 51. Did you two come to use the dragon statue? Yes. Lady Rana wants to awaken to a job as soon as possible, so she uses the statue every day after class. Wait, Esther. The princess tried to cut Esther off, but she was too late. Oh, so you haven't got a job after all, have you, princess? That right. The job I want is super difficult. It isn't easy to meet the requirements for it. Is that so? The royal family can get good jobs, but the difficulty for making them appear is high. Also, for recruitment to a guild in the game, only an A-ranked guild or higher with a fame of 200 could recruit royalty. So you're not going for princess, then, huh? What are you aiming for? A job that you could never get. Oh, are you aiming for saint? What? The princess's face turned bright red. Looks like I was right. The small jab at me was an effective hint. As a male, it's not a job that would appear for me, since it's a woman-specific job. The day that hero and saint appear in the same generation, what a romantic day that will be. What? Idiot. I wasn't thinking like that at all. Don't be conceited. Lady Rana, was that some sort of roundabout love confession? Do you have feelings for this gentleman? No way, Esther. Although hero and saint to fit each other nicely, and I longed for something like that. Although look at him, how could I fall in love with this hero? The princess denied Esther's splendid cross-examination while naively exposing how she felt. In that case, Zephyrus, although she acts like this, Lady Rana is a good person and is well-mannered. Please consider her. Consider me for what? Shut up, Esther. And you too. I decided that the princess might explode if I poke her any more than this. Calm down, I believe you. Take a deep breath. Anyway, saint is a superb job that is ranked right after hero. That's an important note there. Ranked after hero. In short, it's a job that I absolutely want to add to my collection. The princess herself has silver hair and blue eyes. Her face isn't bad and she's of average height. In short, she's a perfect candidate for recruitment. Since that had now been decided, I turned my attention to Esther. May I call you Esther as well? Yes, you may call me whatever you like. In that case, Esther, earlier you said that you too had come to use the dragon statue. Does that mean that you don't have a job either? That's correct. However, I have met the conditions. I will awaken to the job once Lady Rana awakens to hers. Oh, that's convenient. In that case, you're probably aiming for Royal Guard, then, correct? It's a fairly strong job set apart from normal knights, but it's only considered a mid-ranking job. You are quite knowledgeable. Esther looked momentarily impressed. It makes sense because as a villager, Royal Guard is a job far outside of what I should know. Since some jobs are locked to certain categories such as royalty, count and the like, it's not something I would even be able to obtain. Are you happy with that job choice? I don't understand what you're saying. Right, I'll be straightforward. I want you as well. What? The princess shouted. I wish she wouldn't interrupt me. If you join my guild, I'll tell you the conditions for Princess Knight. When I said that, Esther's eyes swam. CH 52. Wait just a minute. Are you trying to take Esther from me? Esther looked upset by my question, and although I was trying to negotiate with her, I couldn't help but turn towards the princess. Why are you making an annoyed face? Rude. I'm talking to you, so you should look happy. The princess looked anxious when she saw my expression. Although I guess it's normal for anyone who thought that their subordinates were being taken from them. Sorry. Why, yeah, well, as long as you understand, Esther is my escort, so you can't pull her away without my permission. But I wasn't pulling her away, I was just inviting her to my guild. That's pulling her away. But if they joined my guild, both of them would be together. Am I missing something? Lady Rana, I believe you are also being invited to join the guild. Huh? Wait, really? But why didn't he ask me? Oh, I just realized I didn't ask her. Well, I kind of figured that if I got Esther, she would just join without permission anyway. I decided to properly invite her, although I made a face as I did. You want to join my guild, princess? Wait a minute. You're supposed to join my guild. My guild, together. You join my guild, not the other way around. If you join my guild, I'll tell you how to get saint to appear. What? The princess' mouth was hanging open. Esther too seems to think this was unbelievable, kind of like Chara did. Just in case, I continued forward while I had the momentum. I'm quite lucky to have saint and Princess Knight joining my guild. Let's go meet the requirements immediately. Wait, are you being serious? How would you know the conditions for Saint? Where are you trying to take me? Ah well. Come on as to you two. No harm in hearing the requirements, right? No, if what you say is true then the royal family will want to make a move. Huh. I grabbed the Princess Anista by the arm and pulled them along forcefully. It wasn't possible for children with no jobs to resist me. I headed straight to my room. Chara had left behind the alchemy bracelet and alchemy equipment. I shouldn't use them without permission, but it's for the good of the guild. Looking back on it, from the outside, the way I politely guided these two into my room might have looked like kidnapping. CH-53, seriously? For it to work that way. We had returned to the dragon statue, and when the princess touched it, Saint appeared for her. See, just like I said. No, not just like I said. Do you know how much of a ripple this informed could cause? This world's inhabitants would probably wonder why they didn't know of it themselves. The princess resisted mightily when I dragged her into my room, but she reluctantly obeyed when I told her that if she really wanted to be a saint, she would try this. For some reason her face was bright red too. On our way the Mrs. Phyllis appeared because apparently someone reported that a boy was kidnapping two girls. But I got out of it by saying I was holding a study session. Anista defended me as well. Who reported me? It took 2 hours to meet the conditions for Saint, longer than usual. Either way, the end result was that I got a Saint, the second most powerful job under Hero. Esther, you can tell the royal family if you want. Rather spread it everywhere. It'll be difficult for others to capture a high-class dungeon otherwise. No, this information belongs to Zephyrus. I won't tell anyone. I mean, if it's just this. Well, no. If it's going to be a hassle then it's better to be quiet. If you get caught just say the princess figured it out herself. I understand, Esther agreed. Alright then, it's your turn next. Since you've met the requirements for Royal Guard, I'm assuming you can ride a horse. You really know a lot. Yes, I've been riding since I was a kid. Okay then, condition 4 is to equip dress armor and defeat 100 monsters. I don't have any dress armor. Would you be able to get some? Yes, I can get some by tomorrow. Alright, I'm going to dive into the intermediate tier dungeon in the morning, so why don't we meet up after? She had decided to switch to Princess Knight, but if you ask me, Royal Guard, who can only show their strength when the royal family is nearby, is a defective job anyway. Yes, I will be in the care of Zephyrus Guild. Lady Rana, you're okay with this, correct? Huh? Oh. Yeah. Thank you for cooperating with Lady Rana. Esther bowed deeply. It looks like the princess hasn't recovered from finding Saint. Welcome to the guild, you two. Alright, I was able to clear the minimum amount of people to create a guild. I'll have to quickly clear the dungeon tomorrow. If all goes well we might be able to form the guild. I have to think up a name. CH-54. The beginner class intermediate tier dungeon, Wildflower Meadow. My reason for choosing this one first is actually quite simple. It's a field-type dungeon, so the chance of being ambushed is low, there's next to no traps, and it's pretty easy to clear. But the main reason is because I can collect magic grass. It's the only place you can collect in the intermediate tier is in this dungeon. T/N. You're welcome for not just calling it weed lol. Magic grass can be used in alchemy to create MP potions, a necessary item to continuously play boss pop. Granted, I could have just bought the potion at a store, but I didn't need it until now. However, after reaching level 20 it becomes much more difficult to raise the level, so they're necessarily to quickly get our levels up to 35, the highest level you can go in the intermediate tier. This dungeon reminds me of the tutorial one, Hannah said as she looked around. Maybe, but the monsters have gotten more aggressive, and although there's not many there are traps, so watch out. Yeah, I'll be careful. But you just bought me this, so it's okay for me to fight a little bit, right? She twirled in place, showing off her dress that Maria's guild had finished for her. They managed to combine battle functionality with appearance, especially around the chest area. Cough, right. Even if your vit stat is low, the dress should help a bit. What's your total defense now? Well, with the dress it's 20, after shoes, necklace and the bracelet like around 26. That's really low. But that's because the equipment is really expensive. Yeah, that's why. Hannah's defense is really weak right now. If she even gets hit by a stray shot she would be put out of common immediately. I can with the Mia, so why don't we go back to Maria? Thanks Zephyrus. I'll be counting on you. Well, It doesn't feel bad being relied upon, I guess. Should we dive into the dungeon now? I slashed a goblin, causing it to disappear and drop a small goblin horn. These small demon-type monsters appear from intermediate on. They're the same monster that appeared in the tutorial dungeon as the boss. Although on lower floors the goblins begin to have weapons. There is a total of 15 floors. Hannah, attack that goblin. Fireball. Hannah shot a ball of fire at the goblin, but her aim was off. Her magic sailed right past it without harming it. Another miss. Hannah still has trouble hitting what she's aiming at, especially if it's moving. However, she did manage to hit a monster yesterday that wasn't moving. Appeal. I used the skill to quickly draw the goblin's attention away from Hannah. We'll just keep practicing until you hit it. How's your MP? I've got plenty left. It only takes 3 MP to use. Hannah was prioritizing MP index, so she actually had a considerable amount of it. More than I did at least. I did it. The goblin couldn't be defeated by just one of her fireballs, but it fell before her barrage nonetheless. Congratulations on your first defeat using magic. Thanks Zephyrus, although it's not very satisfying. Not satisfying? I'm not giving the mace back. But if you fought in close quarters you'd be defeated quickly. Yeah, I know. I'll play Slime Pop later and rehearse it. Rehearse it? I don't think that means what you want it to mean. Poor slimes. CH55. Zephyrus, there too. Isn't that a collection spot? Lucky. This isn't a well-known area, so there's a lot of collection spots left. We're currently on the 8th floor of the dungeon collecting. Of course the main goal is to defeat the boss and create a guild. But that will happen either way, so there's no need to rush around all panicked. This dungeon is popular because of the magic grass that can be used to make MP potions, so it's regularly cleaned out. In fact, up until the 8th floor we weren't having much luck, but here collection points were scattered all around us. I was getting my money's worth out of the scoop THSD I purchased from Maria. The effect is great. I'm able to collect a lot. Normally you'd only be able to collect one at a time, but the effect of the scoop allows me to collect 2. That at the quality improvement effect being at level 4 means that I was able to collect a large number of high quality magic grass. Good quality means that the effect of the potion will be greater. Therefore I want to collect as much of it as I can. Going around the collection points I was able to collect as 84 magic grass in total, along with a few other items. Hannah, who had been training to become an alchemist from a young age, was also smiling happily at the thought of being able to use the materials. After this level goblins with weapons began to appear, but I was able to easily defeat them. Once we reached the 13th floor, up to 4 goblins would appear at once, but my new magic, Shine Lightning, was a wide-range attack magic. It was quite useful and didn't require very much aiming. Although it took longer with us stopping to collect materials, we were able to reach the safe area outside the boss room by 3 PM. Our current levels are, Hero level 21, and Alchemist level 22. The total amount of magic grass collected was 368. It might seem like a lot, but I honestly wanted more. If you would, Hannah. Okay. Once at the rest area I asked Hannah to do a job for me, making MP potions. Hannah pulled out an alchemy set, a recipe for MP potions, small magic stones, slime jelly, and the magic grass. The recipe was just a note that she wrote based off a textbook in the school's library. The reason slime jelly is being used is because it tends to be of higher quality than just water. But the results will be the same. MP potions. I did it. I made an item. Good job, Hannah. We high-fived over the small bottle that appeared inside the alchemy pot. Or to be more specific, there, MP potions, lesser, that appeared. It's a mysterious phenomenon unique to the game. It was set like this, so that what you made just appeared complete from the materials. Potions, swords, boomerangs. It all happened this way. I didn't think it would happen in the real version, but Hannah didn't seem surprised at all. Alright Hannah, make as much as you can. Leave it to me. Hannah happily returned to her work. This is pretty high quality. When I drank the potion, my MP recovered by 30 instead of the normal 20 that you'd get from a lesser MP potion. _T/N For those who like my translation style, I also translate 2 other novels, A Neat's Guide to the Parallel World and my 3521st Reincarnation, ch 56. In just 30 minutes Hannah made 57 high-quality MP potions and 22 normal MP potions. Although we weren't even going to be able to make use of that much today, so she decided to stow her equipment and continue when we went back. Although I'm thankful that I can go ahead and challenge the boss without having to wait for natural recovery. These potions will be necessary to continue challenging the boss in the future. For the first boss fight, Hannah is going to wait in the safe area while I take it on solo. The door was covered in vines that moved out of the way when you held out your hand. Alright, here I go. Good luck, Zephyrus. In response to the trust that Hannah, who wasn't worried in the slightest, put in me, and to create the guild that we both are looking forward to, I'm about to slaughter this boss. Yeah. However, when I entered the boss room I couldn't find the boss that should normally have been there. But the teleportation circle wasn't glowing either, so there's only one thing it could be. The boss is supposed to be a night goblin, an armed goblin riding on a wolf. With it are supposed to be 2 sword goblins and 2 regular goblins. But they're nowhere in sight, meaning that it must be a rare boss. In the intermediate tier dungeons a few things change. The lower tier dungeons are for those who just finished the tutorial, and as such there are no traps. Bosses are easy enough to solo, and you can see the boss from the outside rest area. All of this changes in the intermediate tier. From the intermediate tier up another thing can happen. There's a chance of a rare boss spawning, although it has a pretty low chance of happening. So low a chance that in the game I would use disposable items to cause a rare boss event, and although I'm usually pretty lucky with things, this time I'm solo. The intermediate dungeons are focused on party capture, so the bosses are already stronger to begin with. I came in here relying on the Sky series to help get me through this. However, rare bosses can be as strong as upper tier bosses, and a level 21 trying to solo an upper tier boss would be considered mad. Well, I have the Sky series equipment, so I can probably do this. It's true that normally this would be reckless, but after checking my equipment, items and status, I feel like I can probably handle this. As I thought this, the back of the room shines and the boss appears. Besides the glittering crown and the red cloak, its upper body was naked and muscular like their berserkeress. It also carried a rod in its left hand and a sword in its right. An Emperor Goblin had appeared. I also use magic and attack using close combat. This could be a troublesome opponent, meaning I should attack first, right? Shine lightning. The magic appeared at the tip of my sword. Although it's not very powerful, the Emperor Goblin is easier to deal with using magic. That and there, Sky Sword's magic should have helped my out with the damage a little. Goku. However, the boss rushes in ignoring the magic. There wasn't even any knockback, so I'm not entirely sure the magic even worked. Sonic Sword. I used this quick slash to move quickly to the side as the Emperor Goblin's attack landed right where I had been standing. That was close. How thrilling. Goya. The next attack was magical. It released a fireball from the rod, although it was quite similar to Hannah's and I was able to dodge it normally. My turn. Hero's Sword. I hit the goblin hard with my glowing blue sword. It guarded by crossing the sword and rod across each other. However, as expected of such a strong strike, I was able to deal a considerable amount of damage through the guard. I was also able to apply a debuff. The Hero's Sword has an effect that lowers the opponent's defense. I want to follow up, but the cooldown on the skill prevents me from using it again, forcing me to use normal attacks, although those should still be quite powerful thanks to the Sky Sword. The goblin attacked. I blocked the sword easily with my shield, but the rod struck my armor. Ow! The armor and HP buffer did a good job mitigating the pain, but it still hurt, and my anger rose up with the pain. The goblin grew angry as well. You muscled freak. I focused my anger into a single blow and slammed it into the goblin's chest. The rod hit me while I wasn't paying attention. Neither of us was giving any ground. My sword slashed at his head, stomach, legs and arms, and while I was able to block the sword with my shield, the rod was steadily lowering my HP. I inwardly slapped myself. What kind of idiot plays a game of endurance with a boss monster, or a heal? I recovered to half of my current maximum HP, but during the time it took to do that, the goblin's sword began to turn red as it prepared for an attack. Its movement stirred a memory from my era as a gamer. Goblin style. Deadly blade. The goblin swings its sword in a way that seemed to be saying, "This is it." but can it land the blow? Sonic Sword. I used the skill as an emergency evasion method again and slashed at the goblin's back. A critical hit with Sonic Sword managed to knock the Emperor Goblin over for a few seconds. An opening. Hero's Sword. I hit it with my strongest attack again, dropping its HP to 0 and causing it to disappear in a sea of light particles. CH-57. Somehow I'd managed to defeat the boss. AAA. This feels good. An intoxicating feeling of accomplishment ran through my entire body. Exchanging blows with the Emperor Goblin, dodging its deadly blow to deal one of my own. That was so much fun. Things I could do here but not in the game. So many ideas ran through my head. I wanted more. The battle was incredible. I kept remembering that last exchange of blows, and the proof of clearing the dungeon, a shiny badge, appeared in my hand before I knew it. The real, done life is so much fun. What are you doing, Zephyrus? Huh? I was lying on my back, and when I looked up, Hannah was standing over me looking a little worried. Unfortunately the dress was long, so even though I was looking up I couldn't see anything. Congratulations on defeating the boss, Zephyrus. Yeah, thanks Hannah. But you look a little beat up, and your HP is only at half. It was a rare boss. It was so difficult, but man was it fun. Rare. Hannah screamed in surprise, her voice echoing through the boss room. You defeated a rare boss? Yeah, it was the first time I had a hard time dealing with one. Hannah looked at me worriedly for a bit before breaking into a smile. I heard the rare bosses are extremely strong, but as expected of you, Zephyrus, you still defeated it alone. Hannah's look of envy was quite soothing. It made me decide to get up because I wouldn't look as cool lying down. The boss was really strong, but look at those drops, Hannah. I think, yeah, there's got to be something good in those, right? Both of us were staring at two large golden treasure chests. Okay, Hannah, you collect the boss drops like usual and I'll open the chests. What? I want to open a treasure chest too. You want to open them just because you saw them? Since I went in solo this time I have the right to open them. Please, I haven't opened a golden one yet. If it goes on like this I'll never be able to open one for the rest of my life. Hannah begs with both her hands together. True, normally production jobs would be dedicated to producing items after level 20. It's abnormal for Hannah to even be in an intermediate tier dungeon. However, it's true that there aren't many chances for those with production jobs to open a chest, let alone a gold one. And when I think about it that way I can't help feeling a little bit sorry for her. Fine, but only one. Thank you so much, Zephyrus. I'll bring you a lot of delicious food later to thank you. I might be sweet on Hannah. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach after all. Of course there will probably be plenty of opportunities for me to open gold chests later, so I may as well let Hannah open one, although admittedly I'm looking forward to opening mine as well. I let Hannah open her chest first. I wonder what's inside? A white cat doll. It's so fluffy I'm gonna die. Seriously? What's wrong, Zephyrus? Why are you making that face? What do you mean what's wrong? That's the Cat of Fortune. Cat of Fortune? The cat doll that Hannah is holding is 100 times cuter than the beckoning cat and is loved by female players in Dun Life. It's commonly known as the lucky cat because it has only one effect: it gives luck. However, the amount of luck it gives is enormous, to the point that rare drop rates increase. The chance of there being a rare boss increases. Items become hard to break, etc. It's worshipped as a god item. Instead of feeling lucky I feel like I've just won the lottery. Oh most holy cat god, grant me luck, I said, while holding the hand of the cat doll that Hannah was clinging to. I'm pretty sure it nodded at me. Thank you, your benevolent kittiness. And now it was my turn to open my own golden chest. A rare monster flute. Rare monster flute awakens the rare boss. This item is supposed to increase the chance of a rare boss event if blown outside the boss room in the relief area. It's like the Emperor Goblin was asking for a rematch. You're on. Did you get anything good, Zephyrus? Yeah, this is pretty amazing too. Yeah, there's a limit to how many times you can use it though. It'll break after 5 uses. But if you stop at 4 and repair it, then it can be used 5 more times. There's no other item that can be used to semi-permanently call forward rare bosses. There's nothing that can call a rare boss with a 100% chance of working. But the flute is still a great find. The only problem is we can't use it because there's not anyone that's currently capable of repairing it. Maybe I should look for someone capable of repairing it on C Street. CH58. We finished collecting the boss materials. They were a bit better than the normal boss drops. Hannah was also pleased to get the precious alchemy material, Emperor Goblin's crown. We didn't do boss pop as it was already 4 PM and I had a promise to keep with Esther and a guild to set up. Sorry I wasn't able to get you a dungeon capture medal today. No, it's okay. If you're incapacitated along the way or you don't participate in the dungeon capture, you're not given the medal. Meaning that although Hannah more or less cleared the dungeon with me, she wasn't given anything to prove it. Although it was regrettable, she doesn't actually seem to mind. We'll be coming back, so I'll make sure to get her the medal next time. I put mine on my sky armor, bringing my total up to 4, 3 lower tier medals and 1 intermediate tier. You look cool, Zephyrus. Thanks. Hannah also seemed to like it. I decided to raise my HP with aura heal so that I didn't look as beat up. Good work today. You too. Hannah and I stepped on the teleportation circle together and reappeared at the entrance. What? There was almost an audible sound as the attention of the upperclassmen gathered the focused on us. Hannah shrunk behind me. Oh, this is probably why. I pointed to the medal on my chest as I tried to speak to Hannah, who was still hiding behind me. Oi, that guy. Did he just come out of the Wildflower dungeon? Isn't he a first year? Look at his chest. He's got the medal. Seriously? It took me 3 months to clear that dungeon. Damn, are we about to be overtaken by our juniors? Wait, look at the girl hiding behind there. Hero. She doesn't have the medal. What? Does that mean a hero soloed the boss? Is Hero really that strong? It looks like it'll get annoying if we stay here. Let's go, Hannah. Don't be afraid. Keep your back straight and walk proudly. Yeah. But where did the strong Hannah from the dungeon go? I'm not strong. I'm weak. Well, it's true her status is kind of weak, but I probably shouldn't say that. So instead I walked off proudly, my shoulders back, with Hannah following behind me, albeit a little shakily. That is so scary. It was all upper-class boys. I guess it's normal for a girl as small as Hannah to be a little scared if a bunch of men suddenly start paying attention to her. I patted her head to comfort her. Her hair was unexpectedly puffy. Thank you. Why yeah. Hannah looked up at me, causing me to blush, and she made a lonely sound in her chest when I removed my hand. When did she learn such a technique? After a few minutes we came to the guild application desk. You're here. Hello, Zephyrus. When we entered, the princess was standing there alongside Esther. Sorry, did you wait long? You're late. It's not good to keep me waiting, you know. Lady Rana, we haven't even been waiting 5 minutes. The princess was selfish as usual, but she was smiling. You didn't properly reply yesterday, so I'll ask again. Will you join my guild, princess? I don't have any other choice, I guess. With Hero being supported by Saint, we're certain to win. The princess declared herself heroically for some reason, but I got the answer I wanted to. I decided to go ahead and introduce Hannah behind me. Chara was also there, in the back. I had the princess and Hannah wait for a moment while I went over to Chara, who was staring at us. How are you? Well, thanks to you I was able to get the job I wanted, so I'm grateful. That's good. Her tone was like usual, but she seemed nervous and wasn't moving, so I grabbed her hand and headed over to everyone. Hey, hand. Well, it's not good if you don't move. But it's Her Highness Lady Rana and her knight Esther. Oh, you know them? They're our new guild members. I invited them after you left yesterday. You really are insane, aren't you? How disrespectful. I'll have you know what I'm doing is perfectly in line with common sense for done life. CH 59. Now we have all the members, I said as I came dragging Chara behind me. Everyone's eyes were on me. The princess and Chara's expressions seemed to say that they knew who I was bringing with me. First off, I would like to introduce everyone, but from those expressions I take it that you two know Chara already. Naturally, there's no way I wouldn't know a royal shield. Royal shield? Is that a name for equipment? I searched the database in my brain for such a thing, but no information like that existed for done life. It's another name for my family. My family has produced many excellent shield jobs and has been chosen to escort the royal family no small number of times. That's not all. 54 years ago, during the massive dungeon overflow, the Marguerite family defended the country, bringing the damage down to almost zero. As a reward, Count Marguerite was given the honor of escorting the royal family. Chara's cheeks blush and Esther's further explanation. By the way, it seems that Marguerite is Chara's surname, her full name being Chara Marguerite. As an escort herself, Esther seemed to hold some envy towards the Marguerite family. It seems like the two have been acquainted for a long time due to shared training between their families, but they don't seem to get along well. The princess on the other hand only remembered her as someone of the royal Shield family. She recognized her as a candidate to escort her when she was older. It seems that at 16, if Sierra got a good job, she was likely to be selected as an escort. Since she chose Shield Maiden, she was at the pinnacle of Shield jobs and was likely the best candidate. The point is that the escorts and princess all know each other, so there's no need to introduce them. All that's left is Hannah. However, Hannah stood frozen before the aristocrats, and when I came over looked up at me with a face like she was going to cry. It was kind of cute. Zephyrus, you didn't tell me anything about this. Yeah, I kind of thought you'd be happier not knowing. I figured that she knew she'd be really unhappy. Sorry Hannah. That's not nice Zephyrus. You'll get used to it. Your level is higher, so it'll be okay. Royal families and aristocrats don't matter in life. Level is justice. Also, Hannah is super specializing in alchemy under my tutelage, so there shouldn't be an issue. However, her expression still isn't good. They're not going to throw me in prison, are they? Hannah, what do you think the aristocrats are? What do you mean aristocrats? That's the princess. What were you thinking? That it's a category where you can get a pretty good job? Obviously. I'm already well aware of that, Hannah. I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm pretty sure we're not on the same wavelength here. Nah, Hannah is overthinking things. It's Finny. Let's introduce you. This is our head of production, Hannah the alchemist. I pushed Hannah forward as I said this. By the way, I've been teaming up with her to clear dungeons until now, and she's level 22. She has a promising future, right? That succeeded in catching the aristocrats' attention. That's a high level. For a first year to already be over level 20. Though Zephyrus was the only one, Hob was exceptional, but it seems like you've been blessed with excellent support as well. Hi Hannah, we met at the entrance ceremony, but it looks like we'll be members of the same guild from now on. It's nice to meet you. Hiya. Hannah was still shaking, but they seemed to have accepted it. Hannah was fine talking to Chara at the entrance ceremony though. Did she not know what Chara was an aristocrat then? Oh well, I'm sure she'll fit in soon enough. CH60. Now that we've introduced ourselves, it's time to establish a guild. To apply, everyone must fill out an application, then have their notebooks scanned by the receptionist. What's the name of the guild going to be? I'd already decided on a name way before the receptionist asked. Eden. I answered immediately with no hesitation. This was a dream come true, a paradise. I had no more words. Confirming. Is Eden the name you'd like to go with? The receptionist asked all five of us. Yeah, it's not bad. I have no objection. I kinda like it. It's okay. All four agreed. I had another two options ready just in case, but I'm glad everyone agreed to the first one. Understood. This completes the guild registration. Congratulations on founding the F-Rank Guild, Eden. The guild was officially accepted and founded. After receiving the guild room key and the approval documents, the princess couldn't wait any longer. Let's go look at the guild room. Why not? Let's go. We all decided to head straight for the guild room. Zephyrus, where is the guild room? I checked the paperwork at Esther's question. Guild Tower A, 5th floor. It's a VIP area, but I guess it can't really be helped since it's the princess and there's over 1,000 guilds. There are 5 buildings designated as F-Rank Guild buildings. A tower is for valuable people and the top floor is considered VIP. Oi, over there. What gorgeous members. The rumored, brave Princess Rana, the escort Esther, and the shield Chara. Who is the last one? Well, they must be as good as the other members. Did they form a party? No, that building should be for guild registration. First years started a guild. Look at their hero's chest. It's the Wildflower Medal. What? He's already cleared an intermediate tier dungeon? The girls actually seem to be getting more attention than I was from the surrounding students. That's depressing. The princess and Esther didn't seem to mind, but Chara looked a little overwhelmed. When we arrived at the guild room, we unlocked the door quickly and went inside. Although it was a VIP area and had a little bit better furnishing than normal F-Rank Guild rooms, it was still for an F-Rank Guild. It looked like a classroom and was filled with roughly 10 desks and accompanying chairs. As soon as we were inside, Hannah let out a groan and collapsed into a chair. Are you okay, Hannah? Lady Chara Tilda. Just call me Chara. I can't do that. Hannah was trembling, but sure she'll get used to it. Either way, I'm not going to let her escape, so she'll get used to it eventually. What are we supposed to do in this room? The princess rushed in excitedly, but once she actually saw the room, her excitement dissipated. Well, the first thing we should do is decorate. As I said this, I pulled the lucky cat out of the large item bag. A cat doll. See, cute. Estes seems to like stuffed animals. I should probably remember that. However, this is a sacred object, so I can't let her touch it. I attached it to the wall where the blackboard once was, and a green light spread out through the room. What was that? It was beautiful. Esther's eyes seemed to sparkle as the princess screamed, "Oh, your most holy kitteness, please bestow luck upon us." I prayed to the cat doll, and there, luck, skill was bestowed upon my status successfully. Alright. The is the Holy One's true power. It's a guild item that when displayed in a guild hall provides the skill for all members. There are many other guild items, but for now we only have this one. Also, an F rank guild only has one slot. Once the others checked the status and confirmed that luck was in fact there, I lined up the tables and began pulling out tons of delicious looking food. All of the food had been handmade by Hannah in anticipation of this event. Hannah's food is excellent, and she made it to commemorate the founding of the guild. Ensure everyone will be satisfied. Does everyone have a drink? We all have one. As guild master, it was my job to make sure everyone had everything. In that case, to the founding of Eden. Cheers. Cheers. Everyone drank. It had been less than 3 weeks since I'd started my real life, adventure, but we'd already successfully started a guild. Now that it's been created, we can start having some real fun. Arc 1 complete. CH 61. Congratulations on awakening to Princess Knight, Esther. Thank you, Zephyrus. The day after we successfully created the guild, all of us were gathered in front of the dragon statue, as Esther had yet to acquire her job. It was lucky that Esther didn't take a job before the princess was able to choose hers. Royal Guard was available at the entrance ceremony, but by waiting she was able to awaken to Princess Guard instead. Esther, congratulations. Thank you very much, Lady Rana. Knight Esther, congratulations on your awakening. Congratulations. Chara, Hannah, thank you both. Esther bows politely. Everything she's congratulated. Alright, back to the guild room to play Slime Pop. Once we raise your levels to level 6, you can enter the tutorial dungeon. Okay, I really want to go to the dungeon now, but the new members of the guild are still level 0 and aren't even allowed in the dungeon. Normally the level is raised over a week or longer through battle training, but they're in my guild now, so why would put them through that? Well, raise the level much quicker playing Slime Pop. While playing Slime Pop, the members were also being lectured by me on the best way to develop their classes. Why do you know so much about these jobs? The princess shook the memo that I'd handed her. Her eyes glazed over. It's the results of my own dedication and research. The princess groans and tells me to continue my explanation. What a selfish girl. Now to start with, the job the princess chose, Saint. Hey, can you stop calling me princess? You can just use my name, you know. She interrupted my explanation. This girl, I swear. I give you special permission to call me Lady Rana. No, for the job the princess chose, the position is. Did you just ignore me? You can't ignore me. I'm the princess. Shut up. I'm trying to talk here. She is not living up to the idea of saint that I'd imagined. Chara came in from the side to help me out. Well then, why doesn't Her Majesty Lady Rana call Zephyrus by his name? As far as I've heard, you haven't used it, right? True. She's been referring to me as you this whole time. True. But if I did that, then I'd feel like in losing. What has my strategy meeting devolved into a conversation about how we should refer to each other. While I was standing around confused, Chara came over and whispered to me, "Please call her Lady Rana like she wants, otherwise you'll never be able to finish talking." Well, that's fair enough. If I can't continue my story, then there's no helping it. I went over and stood in front of the princess. What? Are you going to do it? I won't lose. I'm not doing anything. If you want me to call you by your name so much, I'll call you by your name, so listen up. I'm a hero, right? It's time to remind her that I am in fact a hero. I put on a heroic face and said her name clearly. Rana. You are. I wonder how that's going to go. Rana turned bright red and Chara's didn't seem to be able to speak. Was it my heroic voice? It was more powerful than I expected. Rana staggered as if she'd been hit. Did it have the effect of dealing damage? Then I'll return it. Return what? Is she going to hit me? After taking a deep breath, she looked as if she'd decided something. Zefshu, Gufu. Ah, you bit your tongue, didn't you? CH 62. I was caught off guard by the sudden cute display by the princess. Life didn't have a feature like this. A beautiful girl calling out your name can be quite destructive. Real life us scary. Now, It's time to talk about how to train. Saint, don't interrupt again. Got it. Please proceed. Rana seems to be in a good mood for some reason. Should I be in a good mood as well? The main position for Saint is that of a healer. However, it also does very well at providing buffs for the party members. So while it's good to heal your teammates, if you specialize in that, the party as a whole will end up suffering buffs. Like their princess? Yes, the two are very similar. However, princess specializes in buffs while Saint is better at healing. But as far as I can see, Saint's skills are mainly buffs. Rana was looking at the memo while she said this. Yes, much like princess, Saint is dominated by buff magic. Saint can master several types of magic: attack, defense, buff, and recovery. While it's dominated mostly by buff magic, thanks to its unique skill, recovery magic is considerably strengthened. The skill's name is The Saint's Prayer continues to protect. Is it strong? It doesn't seem very strong. It's not exactly strong. It's continuous recovery, meaning that when someone's healed normally, the magic continues to heal them afterwards as well. It's thanks to this skill that Saint comes in second only to Hero. It means that during battle allies are in a state of continuous recovery. Although contrary to my enthusiasm over this, Rana doesn't seem to understand it at all. I guess she'll have to experience it first. Well, seeing is believing. For the time being, just get the unique skill and Recovery Prayer. While you can get Recovery Prayer at level 1, the unique skill requires you be level 10. Okay, what should I get after that? Saints are in trouble if they get targeted, so get the buffs for defense and magic defense. After that, just refer to the memo, although you can ask me anytime if you have questions. Oh, okay, thanks Zephyrus. Yeah, leave it to me, Rana. Rana began staring at my note, so I moved on to Chara. I kind of feel jealous. What are you talking about, Chara? Nothing. Tell me everything you know about Shield Maiden. Have you read the memo? Yes. Can I ask questions? Unlike Rana, it seems that Chara understood the contents of the memo, and because of the household she grew up in, understood her role as tank well. I don't quite understand the unique skill I get at level 40. Completely fascinating shield. It's supposed to have the effect of attracting a monster's attention. My question is, when I use it, will all the monsters in the area focus on me? It will affect all those hit by the attack. But you have to be careful, because if an enemy is mid-attack, its target will still change to you and you could take unexpected damage. It's best to save it for bosses. Chara was taking notes in a lovely flowery notebook as I talked. I hope Rana learns a little something from her. When I saw she was finished, I continued my explanation. You should also be careful when the effect wears off. The target of the attack could change suddenly, and if you're not careful, your friends could end up dead. Friends could be killed. Sierra was taking notes furiously. The greatest humiliation for a tank is for a friend to die. Of course I can be a backup tank if necessary. CH-63. I think I pretty much understand. Thank you, I'll try it out. No problem. I'm glad to have been of use. Unlike Rana, Chara seemed to be worth teaching, so I ended up talking quite a bit. Before I noticed, Tista had already finished with Slime Pop and Rana was complaining. Huh. It's already my turn? But I was still reading. Rana hadn't finished reading yet because she had been trying to derail my conversation. In other words, she was getting what she deserved. Asta came over while Chara was reading her own memo. Zephyrus, I'm now level 6. Thank you for your help. Don't worry about it. I want to start diving into the dungeon again as soon as possible, so I'll do my best to support you. Yes, I too am looking forward to diving into the dungeon with you. On that note, you have 11 SP saved up, right? I'll teach you my theory about how to become the strongest Princess Knight. Okay, this is more than I could ask for. Please teach me. It's okay to take a bit of a break, I guess. It's kind of fun being a teacher. Did you read the memo I gave you yesterday? Yes, I was a little surprised at how many goals there was. There. Princess Knight actually has more than double the skills as Hero. Had I listed all of the possible routes she could take with the job, Asta would have been overwhelmed. It's technically possible to get a large variety of skills, making the job capable of responding to almost any situation. But I listed a few for her to choose from. Did you choose what direction you wanted to head in? It's not possible to restart once you move in a direction, so you have to commit to one at the beginning. However, Asta slowly shook her head. I want you to point me in the best direction like you did for Lady Rana and Chara. Was there too many to decide? Yes, I'm sorry. I lack power but I'm unable to make a decision. In that case I'll recommend the route that I think is the strongest. Unfortunately all I can do is teach you what goals I recommend since I don't know what you have an aptitude for. Are they best goals? I think so at the very least. Although if you're looking to be knight-like it's best not to do what I recommend. It's not knight-like at all, however it will make you the strongest attacker. Does that come with a Zephyrus guarantee? It sounds amazing. Esther laughs but afterwards her eyes look determined like she had decided something. Zephyrus, please make me the strongest. Is it okay to decide that quickly? You can take a little while to decide if you'd like. Originally I was going to settle for becoming a royal guard, however you showed me how to become a princess knight. If I don't agree here I may end up bringing shame upon my household. It sounds a little troublesome but whatever. I wrote down the main points in a memo for Esther. For now go with this. I'll give you a document with a detailed explanation later so do your best. Thank you. I will never forget this kindness. Esther bowed deeply when I gave her the memo as if it was a gift from the king himself. It was honestly a little uncomfortable for me. You don't have to go that far, although you can continue feeling thankful for around 3 years or so, because the guild will last for 3 years. Ch 64. Mrs. Phyllis, thank you for holding class for the guild members even though you were busy. Foo-foo. Don't worry about it. Zephyrus Guild has caught my interest as a teacher. We applied to go to the tutorial dungeon the afternoon that everyone reached level 6 and received a quick reply from Mrs. Phyllis. In truth all the teachers are waiting for the students to take the tutorial dungeon exam around this time of year. Since we have over 7,000 first-year students, with only 5 people able to enter the dungeon at a time it must be difficult to handle all 7,000 of the students. Phyllis, or sorry I guess at school it's Mrs. Phyllis, congratulations on being appointed as a teacher in the combat division. Lady Rana as well, congratulations on making it into the school. Thank you. Foo-foo, I remember the old days. Yeah, when I was little you used to look over my studies a lot, but it's kind of weird to think that you're now an actual teacher. Speaking of, I would love to see how far you've gotten in your studies. Well then watch. Foo-foo. I'm looking forward to it. It seems that Rana and Phyllis knew each other since they were little. Lady Phyllis, I am Esther. Do you remember me? Yes, you're Lady Rana's escort knight. I remember you Esther, although at this school students have to call me Mrs. Phyllis. My apologies. I am honored that you remember me Mrs. Phyllis, and thank you for your time today. You don't have to be that strict with the politeness. Relax a bit. You're a student. Oh okay. I'll work on that. Mrs. Phyllis was the daughter of a marquis. It seemed that it was a little difficult for Esther, who came from a family of knights, to relax around her. Chara stepped forward next. Mrs. Phyllis, thank you for coming today. No. As I said I was looking forward to this. Please look after us today. They two seemed to have been previously acquainted as well but it looked like Chara was quite capable of separating her private life from school. What? Nothing. I was just thinking that your equipment suits you. Oh, thank you. She wore a white and purple armor set with all sorts of different pieces that made it look more like a fashion statement than armor. It honestly looked a little squishy. The shield however was anything but. The large kite she held covered roughly 70% of her body. For her weapon she chose a one-handed mace. It was much smaller than the large two-handed mace that Hannah had used. By the way, Rana was dressed in silver with an odd talisman as her weapon. Since Hannah and I had already completed the tutorial we wouldn't be going with them. Well then, see you later. Good luck everyone. Hannah and I waved as they entered the dungeon. I wonder if they'll pass. It'd be pretty hard not to. Is it even possible to fail a tutorial? Aren't they designed to prevent you from failing? Well we have some time before they'll be finished. Yeah, it's still just 1 PM. Everyone is still in class. Should we go to the dungeon? Yeah. Maria wouldn't be at the guild yet either. Oh I know, I'll head to the research tower. The research tower? I hadn't gone to see the researchers yet but it seemed like this was a good tune. What are you going to do Hannah? Can I not go with you? I mean sure, it'll probably boring though. Really? You've just been paying a lot of attention to Lady Rana and the others recently. You could pay a little more attention to me. Why yeah. Sorry. She seems to have been a little lonely now that there were others around us. It was kind of cute but should I have paid more attention to her? Well then, let's go together. Yeah. Ch 65. Hero. We were waiting for you. We waited. Sorry to disturb you. Sorry to disturb you. No, you're not disturbing us at all. Please you and your attendant make yourselves comfortable. Sorry that we aren't able to offer you any tea." After waiting for a bit, I was greeted by an extremely excited elderly man. Behind him researchers in white coats were all lined up. "Oh yes, pardon my late introduction. I am Miston. I'm the director here at the research tower." "Oh, I'm the first year Zephyrus, and this here must be Hannah." "You'll find that there is no one here who doesn't know your names." No introduction was necessary, although I was a little surprised. Was Hannah famous as well? To be honest, the members of the new Guild Eden are quite the hot topic right now. Hero, alchemist, saint, princess knight, and shield maiden. How do they already have their hands on Esther's information? She only awakened to her job this morning. If it's true that they possess these jobs, I would like the entire guild to be welcomed at this guild. Zephyrus, would you mind bringing them with you the next time you come by? I think that depends on your efforts here. I'm happy to talk with you, but this time is important to us as well. If you're unable to produce any results, we won't be able to cooperate with you. That is quite harsh. However, it is understandable. After all, the trust of the princess is not free. It must be earned. I'm cooperating with you because it's beneficial for me as well. Thank you, Zephyrus. You are this research institute's hope. We will make every effort to cooperate with you completely. I shook hands with Miston. Although to be honest, this facility hasn't achieved very many results to begin with. Although the main problem seems to be the difference between the game, done life, and the real version. In the game, us gamers were able to narrow the conditions for each job down, as the game only recorded what you did from the time your character was 16. As such, the time frame for the completing the conditions was quite small and easily figured out. In the real version, however, the statue seemed to take into account everything that happened in a person's life up until then. And since no one really has access to a dragon statue until they turn 16, that leaves a very large amount of time in which someone could have met the requirements for a job to appear. It seems that the director here has been inviting students with higher ranking jobs here for quite a while, but because of the time frame taken into account, they've had very little success. This is a problem for me. At the current guild rank, I am only able to recruit 10 members. However, once I reach the goal of becoming an S-rank guild, I will be able to support 50 members in my guild. Now, while I could help people awaken to jobs based off the promise to join me later, it's not very efficient. It's much easier to help them get their jobs first, then snatch them up later when I have the room. Therefore, I'm going to provide the research institute here with as many hints as possible and have them distribute the information. Alright then. Why don't we start with the requirements for Great Swordsman, Great Wizard, and Bishop? Starting big. However, there were also some jobs we haven't even discovered yet. May I ask about those later? Sure. However, make sure you advertise properly. Leave it to us. Milton and the other researchers readied notepads and research papers. As soon as I began talking, they all began taking notes at an incredible speed. Hopefully this will help increase the number of high-level jobs. Of course, I could always rely on the job change functions, but that's a pain. CH66. On the way back from the institute, Hannah talked about her impressions of it. Those guys were kind of amazing, weren't they? She actually seemed a little overwhelmed. I agree. They were exactly how I imagined researchers would be. Really? When I was shown the research they'd had up until this point, it all looked like statistics, so it's possible my hints may have been too specific. Thinking back on it, the director must have warned them to remain calm in advance because their bloodshot eyes looked hungry for information. It was honestly a little scary, but I think I told them enough to make their lives a bit easier. When I talked, I emphasized efficiency and they were totally absorbed in it. They'd gathered around me with pencils and paper, taking notes and hanging on my every word. It felt good to be the center of attention. This should help increase the number of high-ranking jobs, but they should hurry up and review it because the deadline isn't far off. 3 more weeks. I'd actually like to recruit 5 more people to my guild if possible. I think our number of rivals will increase, but that's okay. Well, as it is, it would be too easy for us to get up to S rank. Almost boring even. I don't think I want to know where you're getting your confidence from, Zephyrus. Well, you're part of the guild too, you know. With this, the overall level of the entire school should rise. After leaving the research tower, we made our way to C Street. Is Maria here? Ooh. Welcome back. I was waiting for you. Hi Maria. Welcome back Hannah. Recently Maria had been depressed for some reason, but she had returned to her usual energy. Congratulations on forming a guild. Thank you. I guess that information spread pretty fast, huh? Well, You're the hottest topic around right now after all. Ignoring the speed in which you formed a guild, and the amazing people you recruited into it, you also have already cleared an intermediate tier dungeon already. Well then, it looks like there's no need to explain. Our guild's name is Eden and we look forward to working with you in the future. Same here. I shook hands with Maria. Now the other members of Eden will also receive preferential treatment here. So about the materials. Did you get them sold? Of course. Here's the assessment. The earnings this time were more than usual, totaling 4.1 million mia. After splitting it with Hannah, I now had a total of 3.85 million. Did the unit price go down? A little. The Berserker party is rampaging around the lower tiers, so the market is becoming a hit saturated. I see. Looks like we moved on just in time. The price of items from beginner dungeons will only continue to decline in the future. After that was dealt with, I pulled out the materials we acquired yesterday and Maria nearly went into shock seeing the materials from the rare boss, CH-67. It was night time now and everyone had returned from the dungeon. We were gathered in the guild room now. Apparently everyone had passed and they had been diving into the dungeon, raising their levels until now. I'm level 10. Compliment me. Now that they're all level 10, they can begin challenging the lower tier dungeons tomorrow. By the way, I've already complimented Rana several times, but she apparently wasn't satisfied and wanted more. Yes. Congratulations on reaching level 10. You can enter the lower tier dungeons now. Yes, we did it just like you showed us and ended up reaching level 10. Yeah. We just kept going back in several times and eventually we reached level 10. Why do people think you can only go into a dungeon once a day? What Sierra said is true. For some reason students here don't go through the dungeon multiple times a day. Once they defeat the boss and exit the dungeon, they consider themselves to be done for the day. Thanks to that idea, most people are slow to level up in this world. It's considered better to train than to go back into the dungeon, which is how the Berserker party made it to the lower tier dungeons. They were most definitely all trained by David. You'll be challenging the lower tier dungeon tomorrow, so please prepare yourselves. If you're unsure what to prepare, I can tell you. I'll also be going. If I tag along, they'll be able to reach the intermediate tier dungeons quickly. I also can hardly wait for them to catch up. Then please advise me. I look forward to hearing your wisdom. Esther, just leave it to me. Rana, if they don't know, you don't either, so come along. I'll start from the basics. As expected of aristocrats, they have no idea how to dive into a dungeon, especially Rana. Hannah took out various items to help me explain. It looks like Hannah is pretty well versed in dungeon tactics, as Chara, who was next to her, asked her several questions and she was able to provide a sufficient explanation for all of them. During this I was answering questions and providing demonstrations. Next to her, Rana appeared to be having a hard time remembering it all, but she looked more or less determined. Do your best, Rana. The next day, finally we were about to dive into the dungeon as a guild. All 5 members gathered at the Tropical Forest dungeon. The main focus this time is to raise their levels. We won't worry too much about the materials because there will be a lot and probably won't sell well. If the focus was making money, is significantly easier to do so in the intermediate tier dungeons. Alright, the goal today is to get you 3 to level 15. Right. Hannah, Rana, Esther and Chara all gave good replies. Wait, why is Hannah replying? Isn't she the highest level here? Well, I guess motivation is important either way. From level 15 they can begin challenging the intermediate tier dungeons, although there is the added condition of having to clear all 3 lower tier dungeons first. Alright, here we go. We entered the dungeon with me in the lead and Hannah bringing up the rear. While the others looked around, Hannah was holding the scoop we got from Maria. Since our levels wouldn't go up today, Hannah is in charge of hitting the collection points. Dungeons are really odd. It's almost like another world. Lady Rana, you never know when a monster could attack. It's better to be prepared. You can relax a bit. You'll only be attacked once we start moving. If we just stand here, no monsters are going to start coming out. Did you look this up as well? No, there was no need to look something like that up. Chara, I'll teach you where you need to be vigilant. Understood. Since as their shield maiden, Chara will be taking the lead. She'll need to be constantly on guard for monster attacks and other kinds of traps. Although in the lower tier dungeons there aren't any traps. As we moved forward, a quill fell from above. Chara calmly stepped forward with her shield. Provocation. After Chara pulled aggro, Rana buffed her defense from behind. Guardian's blessing. We all received the buff and Esther stepped forward as their quill bounced off of Chara's shield. Long thrust. Her thrust pierced the monster and caused it to disappear in a shower of light. That felt good, didn't it? Yeah, although the monsters aren't much of a challenge yet. Chara looked unimpressed and Rana also looked a little bored. Even though I'm a saint, I haven't even done anything yet. I want to use recovery magic. I mean, I'm not telling you to get hurt, but I'll admit technically Esther is the one playing the most active role right now. Be patient. This can still be considered practice. As we go further down, more monsters will start to appear. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty sure Anna just wants to be the center of attention. CH68, Q. Provocation. Koala-type monsters had snuck past Chara's shield and was heading for Rana behind her. However, it changed direction in response to her skill. Esther, defeat them quickly while they're focusing on Chara. Don't let them near the rearguard. On it. We were currently on the 9th floor and up to 4 monsters were appearing at a time. As the monsters increased, the cooperation of the party began to break down more and more. I took up a position in front of Rana to protect her, but I left the actual fighting to Chara and Esther, with Rana providing healing and buffs. While they were doing okay with only 2-3 monsters, once there were 4 they were able to get past the front line. As such, I began instructing both Esther and Chara how to work together as tank and attacker. The accident was caused by Esther not noticing the monster when it went around Chara. Although as far as I could see, Chara was an excellent tank. Rana was still providing buffs, but they didn't do much and she had yet to use any healing magic, although she did seem quite content to be protected by me. Hannah was wearing the guest bracelet, so the monsters weren't attacking her. As such, she was just wandering around collecting items. Chara and Esther eventually defeated all the monsters and came back over. My apologies, Lady Chara. It's fine. Everyone makes mistakes at first. If you listen to Zephyrus, I'm sure you'll stop making those mistakes in the future. Of course, I will devote myself to learning. I don't really have anything to say. Esther already understood how it had happened and was reflecting upon it. Alright, all that's left is the boss. What do you guys want to do? Fight it or practice a bit more? What do you suggest? I'm not feeling very confident right now. Esther looked a little anxious. Granted, she did just make a mistake, so I think you can probably take it on. Why? I'm sure even if we weren't cooperating we could probably do it somehow. Rana seemed convinced by what Chara had said, although she's not really involved in the fighting. And to be honest, I had to agree. They all wore excellent equipment that was pretty close to my Sky series. I'm a little jealous at the rich girls whose parents could afford to buy them such nice things. As such, Chara was quite confident that even if it was the boss they wouldn't have an issue. And she was right. With their equipment it shouldn't be an issue. Everyone looked at Esther waiting for her answer. You'll never gain the confidence if you don't produce any results. I think you should give it a try. Esther, I think it's a good idea as well. Should we give it a shot? Oh, okay, if both Lady Chara and Lady Rana both say so, then I won't object. Their first boss battle was about to begin. CH69. That's the boss. It looks strong. We arrived at the safety area and Rana gave her impression of what she saw. But it looks so cute. It looks like it's just a bigger quill. Esther really liked cute animals and teddy bears. Although I have to admit it is cute. Although it's still a boss. Sierra, on the other hand, didn't seem to know much about the boss. Don't be fooled by its appearance. Its movement is completely different from the quill. It's called Anteater Bear. So, which one is it? I have the same question actually. Chara reaches out and takes Hannah's hands. Apparently they bonded over the question. Weird. An anteater. But it moves like a bear. So which one is it? I don't know. Of course I wanted to know as well, but the developers never answered. I began making camp in the rest area so we could relax before fighting the boss. Esther came over and helped me out. I wasn't expecting it, but I guess knights would know how to make camp. Although I quickly discovered she was better than me at it, and it turned into me helping her. It was a good learning experience. We ate a light meal and then went to challenge the boss. I'm going to play an active role this time. I will rely upon Her Highness for her support. Leave it to me. Chara gave her a wry smile, but I didn't expect Rana to be able to do very much. I think the tank and healer should take a moment to discuss healing and support. Alright. Her Highness hasn't used healing magic yet. Then I think you should take the time to practice and make sure you can do it before going in. It's a boss, so Chara might end up taking damage. I can block it with my shield, but even without it I don't think my HP would change all that much. Yeah. Probably not. She had really good equipment after all, and I can't exactly ask her to take it off and go get hurt, although Rana looks a little upset. Well, just hang on until level 20 then. Once you reach level 20 you can get skills like Blade of Light and Light Pillar. You'll be able to help out more then. I see, Your Highness. Please bear with it for now then. As soon as we entered the boss room its eyes locked onto Chara. She was first through the gate, so the idea was to wait until the boss aggroed onto her and went on the offensive. However, somebody couldn't wait. Guardian's Blessing. Rana. Of course it was Rana. At the same time that she used the buff, the boss's attention switches to her. Jaya. Hiya. Rana screamed as the boss rushed towards her. Sierra used Provocation, but it wasn't within range yet and was heading straight for Rana. Since I couldn't let her take it on herself, I moved in front of her. Zephyrus. Rana's opinion of me seemed to be rising further. Of course I am protecting her now. It's a nice situation protecting a girl. I bet I look so cool right now. But it's their fight. I shouldn't really be involved, should I? But I would look so cool. I don't think it would hurt if it's just a little. From the side a shadow rushed in between us with a shield held out. Cover shield. It was Sierra, stealing my glory as she took the charge head-on with her shield. Although I must admit it was a magnificent block. Gawa. The anteater bear hit the ground as its charge ground to a halt. I'm still upset I won't get to show off though. CH-70. With Chara dashing in from the side, my turn disappeared. I guess you could argue she was just doing her job. Provocation. Nice, Lady Chara. Long thrust. While Chara had aggroista stabbed it. The boss regained its feet and rose up to attack Sierra with its front claws. However, she defended beautifully, making full use of her shield and supporting skills. Provocation. Chara's ability to see through the boss and maintain aggro was amazing. Asta could attack freely because the eyes of the boss were completely glued to Chara. Long thrust. In addition to normal attacks, Asta was making full use of her skills as well to steadily drain the monster's HP. The only problem was Rana. What should I do? Rana was feeling really anxious. She realized she messed up, but at the same time she wanted to help out. She wanted to buff, heal, attack, anything, but she wasn't able to move because of what had happened. I took her trembling hand to calm her. Relax. Even if you fail, I'm here. Take a deep breath. Oh okay. Suha. I was blocking her view of the boss. That coupled with her deep breath seemed to help her calm down. Good. Now think. Chara was attacked by the boss and has taken damage to her HP. What should you do? Heal. Good. Grab your talisman and give it a shot. Rana looked calm. She closed her eyes and grabbed her little talisman. Think hard about your party member. Chara has taken damage and can only be healed by you. You have to heal her. Yeah, recovery prayer. It only heals a small portion of HP, but if coupled with the saint's unique skill it becomes quite good. You can open your eyes, Rana. Chara is recovering. Really? When she opened her eyes she saw Chara's body glowing dimly. She was at full health now and was continuing to stay that way regardless of the boss's attacks. Wow, Rana looks amazed, but I feel a little sorry for the boss. If the opponent isn't strong enough, with a saint on your side our HP will stay maxed. It's kind of unfair, but you can basically just attack without worry. However, the effect disappears if you lose concentration. But you can cast it again once the glow disappears. See it? Yeah. Healing prayer. Rana's magic wraps around Chara once more. I kept Rana working on the same thing for now. If I had her doing this, that and the other, she'd just end up getting confused. Plus there's no need for buffs right now. The party is still a bit unstable, but thanks to Chara's skill, her and Asta are able to cover the front. She seemed a little unfamiliar with her spear, however. She'd practiced with a one-handed spear on horseback, but a two-handed spear seems to be different. Although she said she'd consulted with Mrs. Phyllis yesterday about how to use it. Although the boss battle started a little on the dangerous side, Chara quickly brought it back. Shield bash. Sierra bashed her shield into the anteater bear. Gwa. Now Asta. Long thrust. Chara was mercilessly and called out to Asta as soon as she created the opening. Asta reacted quickly and slammed her spear into the boss for a critical hit. It disappeared wrapped in light and left behind a silver chest along with the other drops. Did we win? Yes, it was a victory. I turned around and gave Rana a thumbs up. Yay, we did it. Chara and Asta high-fived. Hannah, Rana and I went over to them to celebrate, but Rana didn't join. It seemed like she was still worried about her earlier mistake. Fua. Go ahead, Your Highness. Is it okay? Naturally, this is a party victory after all. Thank you, Esther, and you too, Chara. No problem. Rana high-fived them both. After they high-fived, they all noticed something. It had appeared in their right hands. They were surprised at first but were now all smiling down at the shiny medal in their palms. After that I congratulated them on their clearing of the dungeon. Name, Lana. Category, Royal Family. Job, Saint. LV12. Sup, 21p in total. Limitation, INT +5/Res +5. HP 9090. MP 210/210. STR 10. Vit 10. INT 60. Res 110. AGA 20. Dex 22. Sup 252p0p. SP 17p0p. Skills: Luck, Magic, Healing Prayer LV1, Healing Wish LV1, Lion's Blessing LV1, Sacred Devil's Blessing LV1, Guardian's Blessing LV1, Magic Protection LV1, Speed Blessing LV1. Unique Skill: Saint's Prayer LV10. Name, Esther. Category, Knight. Job, Princess Knight. LV12. Sup, 20p in total. Limitation, HP 126/126. MP 80/80. STR 100. Vit 40. INT 10. Res 40. AGA 40. Dex 20. Sup 180p0p. SP 17p6p. Skills: Long Thrust LV5, Riding LV1, Two-Handed Spear LV5. Luck, Unique Skill not acquired. Name, Sierra. Category, Count Princess. Job, Shield Maiden. LV12. Sup, 20p in total. Limitation, HP 228/228. MP 110/110. STR 20. Vit 100. INT 10. Res 40. AGA 20. Dex 20. Sup 240p0p. SP 17p0p. Skills: Provocation LV5, Shield Bash LV1, Cover Shield LV1, Shielding Technique LV5, Flowing Shield Technique LV5. Luck, Unique Skill not acquired. CH71. Oh great cat god, I thank your benevolent Kittiness for the drops. I have brought expensive meats. I was praying to the cat doll. This was the first time the girls dove into the dungeon, so we only went through one time. I'm not sure if it's beginner's luck or what, but they got all red drops in the silver chest. Either way, I decided to attribute it to the cat doll hanging in our guild hall. They also got 3 rare fur drops. I thank you for your influence and hope for something better next time. Stop being greedy. Thank him properly. It's so cute. But I'm not allowed to pet it, am I? Yeah, Zephyrus said we can't touch it. Oh come, just a little bit. Esther and Hannah loved cute things to a ridiculous level, just staring at it. They at least seemed to understand the holiness of the doll. There were people like Chara who didn't understand these things at all. She walked over and picked it up. It's just a stuffed animal. If you want to touch it, then touch it. Can I? Sorry Zephyrus. I couldn't believe it. The sacred doll of His Holy Kittiness was being played with like it was just a normal doll by 3 high school girls. Then, Rana joined in and made it 4. But, I might have been envious of it. While I was conflicted about feelings I'd never had before, my notebook beeped. From time to time when something serious happens on campus, it makes a noise through the information terminal function on it. It was rare for it to do this, so all of us took our own out in confusion. Awesome. Hey, don't just keep it to yourself, tell us, huh? Can't you read it yourselves? I don't really know how to use it very well. Chara looked away when she said that. I see. So as someone from the modern world, I was accustomed to using a cell phone. However, this device can only be used inside the school, so the residents of this world were unfamiliar with it. Oh, that's what it is? No. Wait, Zephyrus? I'm wondering if I should go watch. What are you talking about? It's a guild battle between an A and an S rank guild. It was being held in the arena, an artificially created dungeon. It was created using an ancient artifact much like the student notebooks. You can place whatever monsters or traps you want, so it's bound to be a great show. There were monsters all over for watching it. A rank guild, Senkan Frackle, versus S rank guild, King Absolute. The battle was beginning at 4 p.m. It was the greatest event that was held at the school. CH-72. The arena is a place where guilds compete for honor and fame under the public's eye. It's also a chance for people to showcase what they learned at the school and how they make use of it. People from outside the school can come watch as well. So the arena also acts as a place where students are scouted, whether it be for a job with a company, an officer or any other job. That's how the game got its name. The arena is where you hunt for jobs in the outside world. By the way, the number of endings for the game were almost as innumerable as the jobs. Anywhere from doing nothing with your life and wasting away to being a hero and clearing the most difficult of dungeons. There was even an ending where you marry a princess and become king. When you think about all of the endings possible, it makes my 8,000 hours almost understandable. But in the end I was only able to see 50 separate endings. Of course videos of the other endings have all been uploaded to the internet, so I've actually seen all of them. Either way, I'm excited to see my first real guild battle. I'm glad we were able to get a decent seat. Yeah, the broadcast camera will rotate as well, so we'll be able to see what's going on further away as well. As expected, the arena was extremely crowded, although it sort of makes sense when you think about who's participating. Chara was after me when we bought tickets, so she sat next to me. The seating order was Esther, Rana, Hannah, me, and Chara. Hannah was nervous being seated next to Rana. She still seems to have not gotten used to being around her yet. We bought the tickets from the guild's treasury. It's collected from each member. Personally, I donated $1 million mere, bringing my balance down to 2.84 million. It looks like it will be a 30-person battle this time, competing in a castle attack style match. You know about that, huh? I'm collecting information with my student notebook in one hand. Naturally there isn't much that I don't know. I'm just collecting information on the differences between real life and the game. Can you tell me about it? I've never seen a guild battle. It's a good thing to learn. If you don't know about it, then you're missing out on half the game. I'll explain. Thanks. As I was pulling up information to explain to Chara, I noticed I was being watched from the other side. Hey, Zephyrus, I don't know anything about it either. Could you explain to us as well? Could you teach me? Everyone. I shook my head and then cleared my throat. Okay. A guild battle occurs when a lower-ranking guild challenges a higher-ranking guild. It's sort of like a rank battle. If the lower-ranking guild wins, they trade rankings with the upper guild. If the upper guild wins, then they defend their position and the rankings don't change. But those that are challenged are at a disadvantage. You don't get anything, and the day will come when you do eventually lose. Rana's opinion is justified. There is a rule that you can only challenge the same guild once a month. If you lose, you can't challenge again for another month. I see. Guild battles are only available from rank C and are a necessary part of raising your ranking. There are many forms of battles, but this particular one is castle attack. Is the battles where fighting is not the main aspect? Correct. There is also something like a production battle. However, it's not as exciting as the combat ones. I'll omit the explanation of that for Joe. Castle attack is basically a competition where the guilds compete to see who can drop a castle's HP to 0 the fastest. Basically, it's a time-based attack where each team earns points for speed, etc. CH-73. This particular battle is a point-based system. If you lower the HP of multiple castles down to 0, you get more points. However, there are monsters and traps set to defend the castles, so they have to either be defeated or avoided while you attack the castle. The field is divided into sections, sort of like tiles. A small castle about 2 meters high is set at each area. If you destroy it, then that area will become yours. You can only attack areas adjacent to your own. If you destroy a castle in an unrelated area, you won't capture that tile and the castle will be instantly replaced instead. Each smaller castle is worth 10 points. However, there is a larger castle worth 2,000. Of course, the enemy team can also capture the areas you have. Once you take the area, a new castle is erected that belongs to your team. If the enemy team destroys that castle, they can claim the tile. Of course, you can also leave people behind to defend the areas you have captured. What happens then is a PvP battle. Of course, the PvP battles is why this arena is so popular. This time there were 9 large castles placed in the field with smaller castles around them. This fields is designed so that combat will happen all over, preventing the audience from getting bored. Both guilds will be participating with 30 members each. It's going to be quite a large battle. For instance, a B-rank guild can only have 30 members, so if they participated it would be a full-scale war. Of course there are non-combatants in each guild, and if they competed they would be at a disadvantage. Which is why this particular style of battle is only available for A rank or above. I explained this quite enthusiastically. I thought I was making everyone else excited as I did so too. Zephyrus is so excited. It's not bad though. It's probably a boy thing. Yeah, although he's not bad when he gets hot-blooded either. But the comments were completely unrelated to the guild battle. Were you not listening to what I said? I was listening. I'm just a little disappointed. Thank you though. Chara turned red and looked away. It was a cute reaction, but the other girls were red as well. Leave it to women not to enjoy the finer things in life. Sorry, thank you, but to be honest I zoned out in the middle. Thank you on behalf of Lady Rana. I will explain it to her later. I looked at Hannah. Hiya, you're so close. Well I'm sitting next to you. Yeah, no. Thank you for explaining, Zephyrus. You're welcome. It's starting. Zephyrus, would you mind commentating? I know the rules now, but I don't know if I'll understand everything that's going on the first time. Sure, leave it to me. I feel like Zephyrus is just sweet on Chara. I don't think that's the case. It's just nice to be relied on by someone who can handle herself. Oh, the guilds came out. As the start tune grew closer, both guilds appeared. The base castle is 20 tiles from the center where both teams met before the battle began. It was quite a distance. Each person from both teams started in the same tile. Where both teams are starting is known as the home castle. You want to protect that castle no matter what. The A rank guild starts on the east side with a red castle, while the S rank is on the west with a white castle. What happens if it's destroyed? You lose. Well, not immediately, but all of the larger castles you captured will belong to the enemy. Oh. That sounds like it would be rut. Of course it's a big deal. You can turn a loss around immediately. You can be losing in points, skill, number of castles, everything, and pull out a win. When that happens the crowd will go wild. It's the best. I cleared my throat. To prevent this you have to have a team dedicated to defense and one to attack. Each guild should have excellent members. It's also a reason why we do CH74. Because of how the field was set up, the teams had to be spread quite thin to both take and defend the castles. As such, it was entirely possible that some people may be lost to the monsters. It's nearly 4 p.m., the start of the guild battle. It will be held for a 2-hour period. The referee, wearing a guest bracelet, blew a whistle. It's started. The first move is the most important. It can often be the move that decides who wins and loses. Now, what will their first move be? Everyone left the home base. It's a great move, isn't it? The battle will progress in every direction and they can capture castles quickly. Zephyrus, is it okay not to leave anyone at the home base? Hannah was surprised at the move, while Esther praised Rana for paying attention. Yeah, it's not a problem. There is a 20-tile buffer. If you just sent out a few, then there is a chance they could become exhausted. It's a daring move though. It's usually not until the last minute that the home base gets targeted anyway, which is why it's exciting. Hannah seemed skeptical of my reaction, but she turned back to the show. Instead it was Chara who asked questions. Does it make sense for them to work in two-man cells? Yeah. Because there are rules to taking other territory. Once someone takes a castle, they have to run and touch another castle that they own before taking another. But why the two-mans? Oh, I see. Chara seemed to have guessed in the middle of asking, but since the others were listening I continued to explain. If you went by yourself you'd have to return to a different tile every time. But in a two-man cell you can alternate. One person takes the castle, the other person touches it, and you can continue on alternating who actually takes the castle. Right now both teams seem to be concentrating on taking the smaller castles. This could be seen as a good strategy, as if your home base is taken you only lose the smaller castles, not the larger ones. Although I'm not sure why the larger castles were being completely ignored. Each team was concentrating solely on the small ones. The white and red tiles spread out in every direction until eventually they met in the middle. Is it a stalemate? However, they aren't pushing forward from there. After a castle is taken, the enemy team can't enter for 2 minutes. I forgot to explain that. It's the same rules as touch, return and tag. You can't turn around and tag the person THST just tagged you. During the 2 minutes enemies are actually forced out of the area. But the 2 minutes passed during my explanation and the two teams charged forward. It turning red and white. Areas that are being attacked flash between the colors. Both teams seem to be defending and attacking equally. So far the S-rank guilds seem to have the upper hand in points. To the north there was another fierce battle as the two teams were fighting over a large castle. The reason they didn't go for those castles first was probably because they were focused on locking down the enemy's movement. There were castles on both sides but only one castle in between the two on the north side. This castle is said to determine the battle. Because of that both sides had sent 10 of their elite members each, so there was a 20-person battle occurring. I understand what each team was trying to do now. In the early stages of the fight the A-rank guilds seemed to be dominating. CH-75, Sankenfreckle tries to overcome the onslaught of King Absolute, but their formation is hard to defeat and the number of people in Sankenfreckle is greatly reduced. This shows how important formation is. The most prominent formation among the attackers was a group of 5 all wearing golden armor. A group of 7 from Sankenfreckle tried to stand against them, but even when they outnumbered then ever member if the Sankenfreckle group was defeated. But something surprising happened. Brother, huh? That's Rana's brother? Yes, that's Lady Rana's older brother, Prince Yuri. He's a guild master. Esther filled in the gaps of my knowledge for me. It was surprising, although the overwhelming power makes sense. The prince category is strong, although I couldn't tell he was royalty at a glance because I wasn't able to see the symbol on his helmet. The name of the guild makes sense now though, King Absolute. And as I watched he used a skill that I recognized. Hero King, is strong isn't it? Zephyrus, you know about that? There's no job that I don't know. That's off the record. If Zephyrus knows. Wait, I get it. Don't ask. Oh okay, I understand. It looks like this would be troublesome, however I'm busy right now. Prince Yuri has been stopped. That's King Absolute was now heading for Sankenfreckle's home base. If this is taken they will receive 8,000 points by taking all 4 larger castles at once. And even more so it will stop Sankenfreckle from taking any more castles for 2 minutes. In short it's a forced ceasefire and Sankenfreckle will lose valuable time if they want to turn this around. In other words it's forcing PvP. Sankenfreckle wanted to prevent this at all costs and was making a last stand in front of their castle. There the golden warrior Yuri's advance ground to a halt in front of a black-haired beauty. Her hair was pulled back into a ponytail and she was wearing a hack armor. I knew who it was. Kiri. Who's Kiri? Hannah and Charo were both curious of who had locked down Prince Yuri, the submaster of Sankenfreckle. I talked with her before. Not that. Why are you calling her Kiri? Oh that's it. I don't know why they're worried about that though. This is the main event. This fight will decide victory or defeat. Stop distracting me and watch. This is the deciding fight. The two of them reluctantly turned their attention back to the fight. King Absolute had 23 members left to Sankenfreckle's 15. If they used their numbers they would definitely win, but Prince Yuri seemed to be fighting one-on-one with Yuri. The other members are all holding back watching the fight. This is a nice development. Kiri's job is samurai and she approached in an instant. She seemed to have used a skill but there was no time for me to explain. I was watching the fight intently. Prince Yuri was put on the defensive, dodging and parrying attacks to the point he wasn't able to attack himself. This is amazing. So powerful. It was completely different from the battles that I knew. New possibilities for Dun Life was revealed to me. The main reason I wanted to come was so the other members could see what laid ahead. But it seems they were not the only ones learning something. This was exciting. Pi. The referee blew the whistle. 2 hours had already passed. Their battle couldn't finish but the results of the match were clear. King Absolute had 22 members left and 29,520 points while Sankenfreckle had 12 members and 21,320 points. King Absolute had won. CH-76. After the battle they all went to buy dinner and brought it back to the guild hall to eat. After dinner Rana was the first to speak. I wasn't sure about it at first but that was amazing. What kind of impression is that? Her vocabulary was different than usual. It was my first time seeing a guild battle. It was surprising to see how different it was from what I'd heard. Well, I can understand that. I can get what you heard, but it's not an exaggeration to say that it's the biggest game at this school. Myself, I was impressed by Prince Yuri and Kiri's battle. I want to be able to do that as well. After that I listened to everyone's impressions. They all seemed to be similar to Rana's. They did all like the battle. However, will we participate in guild battles someday? Can I do something like that? Hannah, you have a production job, so you won't be participating in guild battles like the one that we just saw. Oh, I see. But I kind of want to give it a shot. It all depends on the opponent. If we can afford to bring you on the field we will. However, she doesn't have any combat ability and would fall pretty quickly. Rank battles start from D rank, right? It was Chara who asked. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to tell you before. Should I go ahead and explain now? It seems like a good opportunity since everyone is thinking about the guild battle anyway. First, as well all know, as our rank goes up so do our benefits. Preferential treatment from the school, a bigger guild hall, more members, etc. And a good track record can help with job hunting in the future. This is the main content of Dun Life, so it's important that we talk about this. Next, ranking up from F to D is pretty easy. You can do so by class evaluation, dungeon clearing, guild members, the average level. Generally speaking, once you clear the intermediate tier dungeons you'll be D rank. Going from F to D is pretty easy and it usually just happens naturally as you play the game. However, D rank and up require guild battles to rank up. Guilds who aren't good at guild battles will remain at D rank. It's not as easy to rank up from the because C rank guilds are strong. Maria's guild was C rank, wasn't it? That's right. Her guild is a production guild. They're very skilled, but ranking up further is difficult. To make Hannah's equipment from just beginner materials required a lot of skill. However, they're still just C rank. In addition to preferential treatment from the school, you'll also be given a guild house and allowed to open a store. However, C-rank positions are limited, so they compete for a position in guild battles, right? Correct. Only 1 in 5 people will be able to be in a C-ranked guild or above. The number of S-rank positions is 3, A rank is 6, B rank is 20, while C rank is 150. The total amount of people is 3,990 out of all 20,000 at this school. Therefore those in a C rank guild or higher are said to be the elites. And Zephyrus wants to rise to the top. I grinned at Chara. Naturally, anything other than S rank is unacceptable. In order to properly enjoy the real version of Dun Life, we have to be the strongest. Will you follow me? I stood and asked them all. I knew the answer, but I wanted to hear them say it. Obviously, rather I won't forgive you unless we become S rank. I too cannot return your kindness. With your permission I would accompany you. While Esther is sincere and looks directly into my eyes, Rana says something unnecessarily. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if we didn't reach S rank. I've decided to be with Zephyrus forever. I won't leave you now. Hannah had been with me the longest since I'd come to Dun Life. I couldn't imagine separating with her now. If she said she wanted to leave I would hold her here, but I don't know how. It's good that she's decided to stay. The last one was Chara. She's the hardest one to read. Don't look so worried. I have no intention of leaving. I'll be here to watch you closely. I looked at all their faces again. With them behind me I can move ahead with confidence. Thank you. Now let's focus on raising our rank. Okay. CH-77. It was the day after the guild battle. It was a Saturday, so I introduced the rest of our guild to Maria. I'm actually having a little difficulty with the princess delivery. What are you talking about, Maria? We're going to be coming here quite often. You're not used to us yet? I see. For some reason it kind of seemed like Maria had gone a little pale. Oh, can I ask you to do a job for me? I pulled the free ticket from my pocket that I'd gotten from Maria last time. She regained her energy when she saw that. Oh, so soon? Awesome. I haven't had any professional jobs since graduation season. No, it's not for equipment. There are two main features of Maria's guild. The first is color change for equipment coordination, and the second— Oh, I see. You did make a guild recently, didn't you? Well, in that case I'll make sure to make you a really awesome emblem. In the game we were able to create our own emblems. Players often screenshotted them and showed them off. The emblem shop was there for those who had difficulty creating their own. I changed my own emblem quite a lot, often making my emblem according to the main character's job that I was playing. I attempted to make my own emblem yesterday, but I ended up just throwing it in the trash and deciding to rely on Maria's guild. If possible I'd like you to do the emblem, embroidery and flags as well. I'm so happy I'm going to start screaming. But 1 ticket isn't enough. I'll do it for 5. Wait. Wasn't this a free use ticket? Yes, but making an emblem and all that is not worth it. although a normal design would definitely be free. True, but there aren't that many people in the guild and the emblem is already included. How about 2 free tickets? Oh, but you're the hero, and moreover you have the princess who is a saint. You're practically celebrities, so it's a lot of pressure. 4 tickets. Well, if we're celebrities, the advertising potential should be taken into account, don't you think? Shouldn't that make it worth 2 tickets? Our guild is famous by itself. We don't need outside promotion. 4 tickets. After a bit more haggling, I worked it down to 3 tickets with the promise to sell future dungeon materials here first. There also seemed to be an issue with the drops from the rare boss. You're pretty close with Mariah, aren't you? Yeah. I was actually surprised that Chara was acquainted with her. I'm just a good customer. Apparently Maria's household was famous fashion designers do a lot of aristocrats went to them for clothes. Since Chara's parents went there fairly often, she ended up getting to know Maria. Well, we've entrusted here with the emblem creation, so I was actually thinking about heading into the dungeon. What does everyone else feel like? Sure. Let's go. I agree. I also would like to raise my level quickly. I'll go as well. It's decided then. Everyone seems to have been inspired by the guild battle yesterday and was excited. We disbanded to prepare and then regroup in front of the abandoned mine dungeon. CH78. Does everyone have a glass? Alright. Cheers to completing the beginner tier dungeons. Cheers. It was Sunday. A celebration was being held in the Eden Guild Hall. Yesterday they cleared the abandoned mine dungeon, and this morning they cleared the underground spring dungeon. They didn't play boss pop as it was decided that it would be more efficient to continue on the intermediate tier dungeon and do it because the boss has a higher experience value. They were able to raise the levels to 15. High enough to challenge the intermediate dungeons without it quite easily though. The reason I went up to the limit was because Hannah and I were entering the dungeon that was meant to be challenged as a party. Oh, it's non-alcoholic by the way. Obviously. You're not going to make an underage princess drink alcohol, are you? Lady Rana, please refrain from being vulgar. For some reason Rana was scolded by Esther and her face turned red. That's a little surprising. I figured it was you, so it would be normal to drink alcohol during a celebration. Figured it was me. Who do you think I am, Chara? I didn't drink very much in my old life either. If I did, my performance in the game deteriorated, so I only drank non-alcoholic beverages, such as the orange juice Hannah had poured. So everyone is going to be going to the intermediate dungeons now, right? Will I be able to come? Hannah, you usually wear the guest bracelet now, right? Since you're focusing on production and collecting materials, so it should be fine since you aren't fighting. Well, it's fun collecting stuff, but I get kind of lonely just watching. Unfortunately, that's the fate of production workers. Hannah's fireball was much too weak as well. Hannah, yes, give up, Gan. Hannah's shoulders slumped. Well, your current equipment can still be useful in the intermediate dungeons though. She could still fight from behind the front line with fireball. I looked at the armor of the other 3, because everyone else's is a little too strong. Everyone except Hannah is equipped with powerful equipment. Esther had been able to kill most things with a single blow. As such, it would be difficult to find a moment where Hannah could actively participate. Or Hannah may have begun to do things like this because she feels like she hasn't been very useful in the production side of things. Perhaps she's been participating in battles a little too much. Although Hannah's job is alchemist, its practicality is quite high, but it seems Hannah may not have realized this yet. Should I recruit more production members? As a future policy. I haven't quite worked everything out yet, so I'll explain later. But for now, would you mind collecting like you have been until then? Okay. Hannah didn't really seem to understand, but she moved on to the next person. Thank you again for the rare drops. Your benevolent Kittinus, please enjoy this expensive meat with us. One must never forget our guardian god. It's an important member of the guild. The bosses have dropped silver chests 3 times in a row. We thank his Kittinus with expensive meats. So, I've always thought this, but why meat? Oh, Chara, that is something you shouldn't have stepped in. Amongst the community of Dun Life players, there was a great controversy as to what offerings should be made to his Kittinus. Many a guild battle had been fought over it. Myself, I belonged on the meat side. Does it like meat? Absolutely. I gave a strong nod. Chara looked worried for a second before pulling a portion of meat from her own item bag. Good, good. Chara is part of the meat sect. Everyone gathered in front of him and seemed to be making offerings of their own. Very good. They have learned the ways of old. I'm sure he will bless you with a good drop. I was thinking this when suddenly a vicious demon came from nowhere. It's not good for him to be over here by himself. Ah, Rana had grabbed him. I was so surprised I cried out, "What sort of punishment is this, you sadistic woman?" It's good, right? Today is a celebration, so the kitty should participate too. Guo. I was defeated. It's exactly as Rana said. I'd never dreamed I would be defeated by her. Zephyrus, today is special. So, it's okay to have his kittiness participate as well. Thank you. Don't thank me. This is all for His Holiness. I understand. The celebration continued. I'm truly looking forward to the intermediate dungeons tomorrow. CH-79. It went that way, Esther. I've got it. Long thrust. Esther dealt a devastating amount of damage to a sword goblin, cutting it down in an instant. Sonic sword. Since I can still raise my level in the intermediate tier dungeon, I'm participating in battle as well. Is it over? Chara finished the last one with a crushing shield bash and then looked around, checking the area before relaxing. Good work. That felt good. It was Monday morning and all 5 of us had come to the Wildflower Dungeon. Rana was still disappointed about not being able to participate as a healer, so she took the role of director. She was doing a lot of shouting here or there. I'll have to teach her how to direct a fight later. Although for a new party our movement isn't that bad. I was able to keep a good balance and fit in well to the party, as I was able to both join Sierra as a tank and play attacker with Esther. Also, Sierra is very stable in her position as a tank, so I'm pretty sure that even though the number of enemies rose to 6 at once, our formation wasn't going to collapse. Alright, up next is the boss room. With us all cooperating, there's no way we will lose. Yeah. Let's go. I'm only level 17. Is that okay? We all have high level jobs, and they have high sup, so even if our levels are a bit low, our attribute values are higher than normal. I'll be cheering you on. Good luck everyone. Although Rana was excited to be playing an active role now and was excited for the boss battle, Esther was worried about her lower level. Although she is correct, normally level 20 is the ideal level for challenging the boss. Of course, Chara is correct as well. With our higher ranking jobs, there's no need to worry about fighting the boss. I was even able to solo the rare boss, so we're not in any danger. This time Hannah was by my side as we went in. She'd taken the guest bracelet off in order to get proof of clearing the dungeon. I have no objections to this, of course. Thank you, Lady Rana. And there's no need to thank me. Hannah is a member of Eden as well, so it's only natural. Hannah was slowly beginning to open up around the other aristocratic members of the guild. Rana is also making an effort to get along with her, although both of them are a little shy. As such, I went to challenge a boss with several beautiful girls at my side. CH80. This time the boss was waiting in the boss room like normal. If it was a rare boss, then the room usually starts out empty. Alright, like I said earlier, the boss is 1 night goblin, 2 sword goblins and 2 regular goblins. Well, use the strategy we talked about before. Rana, are you going to be able to follow the plan? Leave it to me. I won't fail like last time. I mean, it's okay to mess up. Just be careful. If anything happens, I'll cover you. If you're afraid of making mistakes, you'll never do anything. Besides, it's okay to make a few in the beginning. Hannah, you support us from behind with fireballs. You don't actually have to try and defeat anything. Just try not to hit us. Gee, got it. Hannah still isn't very good with her magic, so, for not, I'll just be happy if she avoids hitting any of us. Okay, let's go. Yeah. The boss waits on top of the wolf with the other goblins round him. Shine lightning, Gobu. The goblins split up, so I was only able to hit 2 with my magic, but it should have dealt a good amount of damage to them. It also focused their attention on me. Provocation. Ok. Guardian's Blessing, Lion's Blessing, Fireball. As soon as Chara pulls aggro, Rana layers buffs over everyone and Hannah launches a fireball, although unfortunately Hannah's attack didn't land. Appeal. Long thrust. Blessing of the Holy Devil, Speed Blessing, Fireball. I pulled more aggro from the 2 goblins I was in charge of, and Esther rushes in with her skill. Our idea is to cut the weak ones down first. Hannah's fireball flew near Chara and struck one of the sword goblins. I did it. The goblin was knocked back by the fireball, then Chara followed it up with a well-timed shield bash that sent it sprawling on the ground. In the opening created a switched from tank to attacker and pounced on the sword goblin. Sonic sword, Gobu. I decided to defeat it before it could stand and dealt a critical blow on it. But that wasn't enough to end it. Long thrust. Esther charged into the other sword goblin as I swung my sword at goblin once more, finishing it off. The boss is moving. I'll buff again. Guardian blessing, Lion's blessing. The night goblin's attention was focused on the one who defeated the most goblins, that is to say me. I was once again a tank. Appeal. I took the focus of the boss while Chara and Esther finished off the sword goblin. Of course, after defeating the Emperor Goblin solo, if I got serious I could probably finish this myself, but I'm trying to play towards party tactics. Fireball. Healing prayer. Rana cast healing magic. And although Hannah's fireballs weren't landing, she was doing a great job interrupting the boss's attacks and forcing it to reposition. Provocation. Long thrust. Chara and Esther join in the boss fight as soon as their own battle is finished. The boss's attention changed to Chara. Our skills have very similar effects, but because I wasn't attacking and was instead focusing on defense, Chara was easily able to pull aggro away from me. I switched to an attacking role, but I only used normal attacks. If you do too much damage too quickly, its attention will switch off of Chara, so I had to be careful. Healing prayer, fireball, long thrust, provocation, sonic sword. Chara acquired even more aggro, so I was able to use a skill of my own. Although I wasn't able to use Hero's sword, I was afraid they would end the fight too quickly. Go, gobba ooh. Esther's long thrust connected beautifully with the boss and it exploded into light particles. That felt good. Good work everyone. I tried to raise up a victory cry like usual, but everyone's voice was cut off when they saw what had appeared in place. If the boss was a gold chest. CH81. Gold chest. Of course it was Hannah who reacted first. Wait Hannah, don't just jump out. Wait. Zephyrus, I'm not a dog. Hannah had tried to run for the chest like she does every time and got treated like a dog. She wasn't very happy about it and protested. But a gold chest is exceedingly rare and everyone else's eyes were glued to it as well. It's the first time I've seen a gold one. I wonder what kind of treasure is in it. Zephyrus said he got the lucky cat from it last time. I'm looking forward to it as well, Lady Rana. That was a rare boss drop. I don't think anything THST good will be in there, but I'm still looking forward to it. We put all the other drops in the storage bag. Okay, now who gets to open it? Me. Bad Hannah, you opened the last one. Stay. The moment I'd asked, Hannah's hand had shot into the air. I've opened one as well, so we have to let one of the other three open it. Okay, sometimes a rare boss might drop 2 chests and then coupled with the luck given to us by His Holiness it can be doubled to 4 chests. I really want to see that someday. Although this time there was of course only 1 chest. We eventually decided to take turns based off aristocratic rank, so Rana was first. She walked over to it excited and laid her hand on the box. This is so exciting. I'm nervous to open it. I know that feeling well. Even after 8,000 hours of gameplay, I too get excited every time. She took a deep breath and opened the chest. Everyone watched closely as Rana pulled out a small key the size of her palm. There, door key. I was so excited I involuntarily struck a got it pose. Hey, don't scream like that. You scared me. How can I not scream? Rana, you scream too. Hip hip hooray. I'm not going to do. Hey, let go of my hand. Hooray, hooray. What Rana had pulled from the box was the hidden door universal key iron, commonly known as door key. It's a key that lets you open any hidden door once it's found. Even better than that, it's indestructible and reusable. It's a very important item. It's an exceedingly rare drop as a matter of course, but it wasn't as important as the job change ticket. In worst case scenario, it's possible to make a one-time use key, although the material cost is pretty high. This one is iron. It's a really nice item to have at the beginning. You can get super rare items in hidden rooms. You might understand my tension if I tell you that this particular item is worth dozens of other rare drops. Good job, Rana. She's the best. Woo. Calm down, Zephyrus. Oh, I was doing a dance with Rana and Chara had to step in and force her away. Obviously she wanted to dance too. Chara's turn. I tried to put my hands on her hips this time, but she was protected by her shield. Number. Calm down. Her highness eyes are spinning. Esther was supporting a red-faced Rana. Then who do I dance with? No dancing. Behind her, Hannah looked like she wanted to dance, but Chara was stopping her. Chara doesn't dance. It feels good to twirl around. I don't dance. It feels great to dance after a rare drop. I do it later. Oh. Okay. What? How are you going to dance with no excitement? Well, We were still fortunate enough to get the key, so we should use it. CH82. I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now. You're crazy. That's a mean thing to say. We were doing boss pop today, but Chara was a jerk when I was explaining things. I've never heard about being able to refight the boss. Zephyrus is very knowledgeable. See, Esther gets it. I'm not saying it's bad, I've just never heard of it. What about Her Highness? It's the first I've heard of it. I haven't seen it in the King's Library either, but I may have forgotten. Then what's wrong? It's the best way to level up. We cleared the dungeon and defeated the boss. Got the proof. There was a nice afterglow effect. But now you're telling me you want to just fight the boss again. There's no afterglow now. Well, it was a nice fight. Our cooperation was perfect and we got a nice drop too. Did I have that afterglow when I was playing the game? No, I think I more had the mindset of I want to try my current tactics out another 10 times or so. Well, we can enjoy the afterglow in the safety area and then fight the boss again. Geez, I agree though. It would be pretty difficult to keep coming down here every time. I've decided to go with what Zephyrus said. Yeah, I wanted to use a little more magic anyway. I'll do it too, of course. It's unanimous, although Rana might be a little aggressive about it since she gets to use magic. But that's what the second match is for. This is now less about fighting the boss and more about working our cooperation. We defeated it for the second time in roughly 10 minutes, but all we got was a wooden chest this time. Our shoulders all drooped. When we get back, I'll make sure to make a good offering to his holy Kittiness. We ended up fighting the boss a total of 20 times. I raised my level to 26 and Hannah's rose to 29. In the intermediate dungeons you can only get your level up to 35, so after the next dungeon she probably won't need to participate. The other three's level rose to level 20. This was the most efficient way to do it after all. At level 20 the second stage of skills and magic opens up, meaning our methods of attack widens as well. It's going to be dark soon, so why don't we split up for now? I agree. This is totally crazy. What? It's fine, isn't it? They all still sound so full of energy. I bet if I said we should do it all again they'd agree. Let's gather at the guild hall tomorrow. All of you should be in the second stage and we can talk about it if you want. Yeah. Will you let me consult you on it again? Me too, please. It's only natural that you'd tell me. Okay, everyone but Rana. Why? Teach me too. Zephyrus, material return has reached level 10 as well. Can you tell me what I should get next? Sure, but what should you get next? Wait, tell me too, please. Oh, she finally said please. So at the end I agreed to teach her as well. Hannah's eyes opened wide when she was sorting through the items I brought her. You're really strange. You are too. You bring me all these boss materials every day. How is that normal? Oh, speaking of, I finished the assessment of the rare boss materials. Oh, this is a good amount. Alright, let me see your notebook so I can make the deposit. Okay, I'm going to be bringing a lot more in the future as well. The materials from the grassland totaled 3.8 million. The materials weren't worth as much as before because the market was beginning to get flooded. Most of the income actually seems like it was due to the rare boss. It looks like it was a good idea to do boss pop this time. After the split with Hannah, I kept the money from the rare boss. My account came to 5.59 million mia. After the intermediate dungeons, new equipment etc. will still empty it immediately. I have to earn more. CH83. Next, I finished the prototype. Seriously? Let me see. Okay, over here. Maria brought something wrapped in paper from the back of the shop. Open it. Don't mind if I do. Oh. Inside was a blue, yellow, and white guild flag with a symbol for our guild on it. It's a guild flag. It's such great quality. According to an old legend where a hero slayed a dragon, I was represented by a sword and dragon emblem. In the background was a tiara, a shield, a knight on a horse, and a alchemy kettle. All our founding members were represented in the emblem. It looked amazing. This is awesome. I did have a question though. Wyatt, I thought we were supposed to pick out a design. Why is there a finished product all of a sudden? Normally you would be able to choose from several designs on paper before getting a finished design. Ahahaha. Yeah, I did that. We started with all the guild members, but the upperclassman that usually organizes things and directs the process graduated, so before we knew it we finished it. What would they do if I asked for it to be changed? So, Do you like it? You like it, right? To be honest, it's way better than what I expected. Good. If I had to remake it, that'd be a real problem. Why is she whispering? Then why don't we go ahead with this design and you take that flag back with you? No, I still need to get the opinions of my guild members first. That okay? If you say it's good, I'm sure they'll agree. Is that so? Do I have the right to decide this on my own? I'm ready to sew and engrave the emblem onto your equipment at any time, so you can drop it off whenever you're free in the evening and then pick it up in the morning before you go to the dungeon. Thanks. We go to the dungeon every day, so it's nice that it won't take that long to get all the equipment finished. I told her I would bring all the equipment by Friday so she would be free. But for now I stuffed the guild flag into my item bag. Oh, I forgot. Give this to the princess. Oh, the price assessment of the items. Okay, will do. I took it and turned around to head back to my room, but something hit me in the stomach. Kaya. Oh, sorry. You okay? I'd bumped into a small girl. I was wearing armor so nothing happened to me, but she had fallen over so that her skirt was flipped up. In short, her panties were completely visible. You, don't look. Sorry. She was rubbing her button as the ears on her head twitched. I had bumped into a small cat girl. CH84. The category a person is in dictates what kinds of jobs they can get. However, this only applies to humans. There are also other categories such as cat person, elf, fox person, and giant. They are a special group that is limited to the jobs in their own category. In return, humans cannot get the same kinds of jobs. They have many powerful jobs and abilities. When I played the game, I also made use of the various races. As for scouting them, the requirements are different. It doesn't rely on fame like it does for humans. For instance, in the case of a cat person, you can scout them if you meet the strength and mere requirements, and as such, I'm not being reverse scouted. Right now, I'm only 5 million mere. It's a bargain. Don't misunderstand. This is a guild scouting. For a cat person, 5 million isn't bad. Although it's not exactly a bargain either. It's essential to increase the number of guild members in order to rank up. And the amount of mere she stated is the amount I reached just now. Wait, did this trigger because I went over 5 million mere? I decided to listen to her. The girl I had just knocked over recognized me and immediately switched into reverse scouting mode. From her blue skirt, she appeared to be a first year and was actually rather cute. Her appearance passes the test, so all that's left is her job. I'll hear you out, but let's move somewhere else first. Okay, are we going to the lounge? No, let's go to a restaurant. I'm hungry. I invited her to eat, but she suddenly looked sad. I don't have any money. Huh? Not even for food? Yeah. I eat breakfast and dinner in the dorms every day. Oh right, there was a poverty setting for cat people. Cat people are often mercenaries, so someone who is unskilled can't earn mere. That's why the scouting often starts with the money for a contract. Although after THST you don't have to pay her anything else, since rather than properly scouting her, she's more of a mercenary. She's also rather cheap since the amount can be made back easily from the intermediate tier dungeons. Although I was a little surprised that she didn't even have money for food. Apparently it was more severe than I thought. Oh, I can pay. Really? I don't mind. I've made a decent amount of money. Who could leave a hungry child? I'm pretty confident in the contract now though. No, I'm certain. But before that I said bye to Maria. See you later, Maria. Thanks for the emblem. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't forget about me. See you later then. I can't underestimate Maria's information network. I don't know what would happen if I tried to buy a cute child right in front of her. There, hero. Just invited a girl to a restaurant. Maria typed something in her notebook, but I didn't notice. CH85, everyone is looking at us. Oh, this is normal for me. My equipment kind of stands out. I'm currently heading to a restaurant with a cat girl, so more people than usual might be looking at us. There are several restaurants around the school, as most students aren't satisfied with the food on the cafeteria. Here, we arrived at a curry restaurant. It seemed I made the right choice because drool was flowing from the edge of her mouth. Marvelous is good because it has private rooms that are perfect for holding meetings. It also has quality food. We entered the store and took a private room. Order whatever you want. You can get a refill up to 5 times! I love you. Her eyes were glittering, as expected. She's a big eater. The reason I'm being so nice is because I accidentally saw her panties, You can think of it as something like an apology. Although the person in question doesn't seem to care all that much, I'll hold the interview after eating. My name's Kalua, nice to meet you. Kalua, I'm there, hero, Zephyrus. Level 26. Nice to meet you. We exchanged short introductions. It's a little sudden, but what's your job and level? Unacquired. Well, that's more convenient for me, so let's continue for now. It seems like you know who I was and talked to me. Why? Was it to join my guild? You're the strongest of the first years. I want to serve you. Cat people follow strong people. However, they never follow people weaker than themselves. Although cat people usually specialize in combat jobs, so it works out for me. But I'm weak, so just 5 million is fine. It's a good deal. It's not that good, but although the lowest price to scout a cat person is 5 million, the idea is to get them early and then have them acquire strong jobs, as once they have a job and start leveling up, their price goes up as well. With the best jobs and high levels, their contract price could exceed 100 million mia. Her personality doesn't seem to be bad, but what does she mean by weak? There's only one job I can get. Beast warrior? That is weak. It is rather weak, with an SUP of only 12. The requirements for the job are just to be a beast man. In other words, Kalua hasn't met any requirements for other jobs, so she's extremely weak. But I'll get stronger, so hire me. It would probably be difficult to get another guild to hire you if you decide to go with Beast Warrior. Sure, huh? However, my guild is aiming for S rank. If you want to join, you also have to aim to be the strongest. If you're prepared for that, I'll let you join. Really? Think about it properly. My guild is aiming for S rank. If you're not prepared, you'll be left behind and won't be able to participate in the guild battles. Yeah, I'll think about it properly. I want to do it, but I don't know I can. If you can't do it, I won't invite you. I thought you could, so I scouted you. If you only have a weak job, then I'll give you a strong one. As long as someone gets a good job, strength and confidence will come naturally. Anyone can do it, but I decided not to mention that. Besides, I respect the guts it took to call out to me. So, what is Kalua's answer? CH86. It's good to belong to a high-ranking guild, but if you don't have enough skill, you'll be subject to dismissal. In guild battles, your rank can fall, so if a B-rank guild that can hold 50 members falls to C rank, which can only hold 30 members, those with the lowest skill are dismissed first. I've had this tragedy strike many times when I was playing the game. Although one of the founding members of the guild and a character I put a lot of effort into was dismissed when we lost a guild battle. Although you can create a lower ranking guild until the original guild's level goes back up, then rejoin and disband the other guild. Although in real life, when dismissing a person, the guild has to submit the reason for dismissal to the school, unless it's directly caused by the outcome of a guild battle. However, if you're dismissed for another reason, joining another guild becomes extremely difficult, as most guilds don't want to accept someone that they may have to go through a lot of effort to dismiss. I thought that because of this reason Kalua might be hesitant to join, but I want to join. Well, in that case, welcome to Eden. Thank you. When I accepted her into the guild, her ears were twitching cheerfully. It's a big decision, but I'm going to make her stronger. Alright, now to get you a strong job. It's already night now, but do you have time to come with me? Sure. Kalua and I left the restaurant after she gorged herself on 6 bowls of curry. We were heading to my room in the aristocratic dorms to play Slime Pop. Sierra's alchemy set and bracelet was still there. When entering the dorms, I saw the dorm mother. Good evening, dorm mother. Good evening, Zephyrus. I'm actually going to be holding a study session again. Can I have permission to take her up to my room? The aristocratic dorm mother is a very nice lady. She's graduated the academy 10 years ago but came back to work here when her late husband passed away. She was quite youthful and an aristocrat herself, so sometimes the boys in the dorm made passes at her, but they were all turned down. However, she let Hannah enter and leave my room freely and didn't treat commoners any differently. When I asked to bring Kalua up to my room, the dorm mother looked over at her and, "A new one? I'm Kalua. Nice to meet you." For some reason I felt that the nuance of what the dorm mother said was strange, but it's probably just how she is. Is that okay? I'm not an aristocrat, but I just want to use my room and the dragon statue room. Just the two of you? You seem to be very enthusiastic about studying. He. Of course I'll allow it. Good luck, Zephyrus. I feel like my intentions may have been misunderstood, but it's late already, so we should do this quickly. So, Is there a specific job you want? For a cat person there are 7 different jobs all centered around combat with 3 different specialties: magic, speed, and attack. I of course know the requirements for all of them. I want to become a star cat, but no matter how much I run it never appears. A speed type. Yeah, running isn't enough. Kahlua chose a speed type job. Certainly one of the requirements is run 200 kilometers in a week. But that's not the only condition. Okay, I'm going to tell you how to get Starket, but don't tell anyone what I'm about to tell you. Okay, I swear to keep this secret even if I die. I mean, you don't have to go that far, you can give a hint. I gave hints to the researchers, so I don't want her to keep it completely secret. I just want the people of this world to work and figuring it out themselves as well. Then with Kahlua's consent I began to lecture her on how to make Starket appear. CH87. I was so surprised. Kahlua, congratulations on awakening to Starket. By 9 p.m. Kahlua was standing wide-eyed in front of the dragon statue. It hadn't taken very long since Kahlua had already finished the part about running 200 kilometers in a week, which takes the longest. All the remaining requirements were easy, but it took until 9 p.m. because Mrs. Phyllis heard that I'd brought a girl to my room again and had come to check, who keeps reporting me. I even got permission this time. This is amazing. I'm a Starket. I'm glad she was happy. For some reason Chira and the other had all looked tired. After getting the jobs they wanted, shouldn't they have been happy as well? So, we can make a contract now, right? Yeah, I'll be useful. Zephyrus is amazing. Kinda. It feels good being complimented. After that I paid Kahlua 5 million mir and she became a member of the guild. There's so much money. Kahlua's eyes sparkled as she stared at her notebook. For me, who thought the money would be gone in no time once I went to buy better equipment, Kahlua was the opposite. This was a large amount of money for her. Of course there was a time when I was excited over this amount of money too, but I was young then. Once the contract is formed, the cat mercenary won't leave. She will be enrolled in my guild until she graduates. One of the principles of a cat mercenary is to stick to the contract once it's signed. Thanks to this, however, my balance was now 580,000 mir. Looks like I have to save money again. I'll prepare you some equipment. Since you're part of the guild now, you can use whatever is left over in the hall. What kind of weapons you like to use? Dual daggers. Alright, we have one in the guild. I got one out of a silver boss chest. No other members use daggers, so you're free to use it. Or did you already have your own? I only have one. Thank you for lending me this. Okay. Now what about body armor? Due to the poor nature of car people, I assume she doesn't have any equipment and would be forced to use the school's beginner equipment. Sure enough, she shook her head. In that case, why don't I take you over to a store to get some? The anteater fur probably hasn't been sold yet. After checking with Rana and the others, I can probably cancel the sell and get Maria to make her some equipment. Other than that, we just need people for you to clear dungeons with. Although I would like to avoid slowing down even for the purpose of training new members. It's not strictly necessary to be in a party with only those from your guild either. It's sometimes necessary because the number of combat members in a guild is rarely 5. Even in Eden, Hannah participates by equipping a weapon even though she is a production worker. I want to go to the dungeon with Zephyrus. You're not a high enough level. Oh, she's not able to join me yet. Although I don't think Hannah will be able to accompany me to the upper tier beginner level dungeons either, so it's about time for her to start focusing on production. Although it's possible to train up Kahlua as well. Either way, to participate in a guild battle we need to have 10 members. Should I talk to everyone about it tomorrow? Well, I'll introduce you to the other members first tomorrow, then we'll talk about the future. Okay, alright. I increased the number of guild members without permission. Should I have asked everyone first? Although in the game everything was done by the player as guild leader. I glanced at Kahlua, ? Well, she's cute and the other members all love cute things. People, right? It's probably fine. After that, Kahlua and I played Slime Pop until she reached level 6 and then disbanded. The next day, CH88, I present our newest member, Kahlua. Starket, level 6. Hello. The day after recruiting Kahlua, I made an announcement at the guild hall but was greeted with silence. What did you do after we disbanded yesterday? You did the same thing to her that you did to all of us, didn't you? Starket is a higher ranking job and she's already level 6. Ha ha ha, it is Zephyrus after all. The other members were all familiar with the way I did things. Kahlua looked confused. However, for now, Why don't we introduce ourselves? I'm glad that Chara was here to facilitate things. I pushed Kalua towards everyone as they began to introduce themselves. After the introductions, Kalua's ears were twitching happily. Of course Hannah and Esther's eyes were glued on them. I understand. Are we allowed to touch them? Your ears are cute. Can I touch them? Hannah actually asked. It's wonderful that she's not afraid to say such things. These are important to me. Only my family can touch them. Kalua covers her ears as everyone looked disappointed. I was too. Zephyrus, where did you meet her? Oh, I bumped into her on C Street and saw her panties. What? Oh, that didn't go well. Should I apologize? Zephyrus, what did you do to her? Zephyrus, cough. It's fine. I apologized properly and bought her a meal, so it's fine now. Oh right, I probably should have told Kalua why I bought her a meal. You two went out to eat? Yeah, to apologize and discuss her recruitment. Why is Hannah looking at me like that? Yeah, Zephyrus is awesome. He bought me 6 bowls of curry. Where did you put it all? Chara was staring at Kalua's stomach. It was delicious. Can we go again with everyone? I agree. Chara and Kalua had diverted the conversation away from her panties, so I happily jumped on the opportunity. Okay, now that Kalua is officially one of us, I would like to talk about recruiting new members in the future. When I started talking, everyone was quiet and listened. Our aim now is to rise up to D rank. So we have to have cleared an intermediate tier intermediate level dungeon and have 10 members. Anyone who disagrees with this, please raise your hand. I don't mind. We should rank up as quickly as possible if we're aiming for S rank. Alright then, since there's no objection, I'll keep talking. I checked their facial expressions and then moved on. Is there anyone you would like to recommend as a member? Being able to meet new people isn't something I can ask of His Holy Kittiness, so I don't actually have many acquaintances. Surprisingly, Rana was the first one to respond. I know 2 people. 2? I was surprised. If we recruited 2 more, we'd already be most of the way there. That said, they're my servants. Kind of like Esther? Yeah. Esther is my escort. I'm a princess after all, so it's obvious I'd bring my servants. Right? What do you mean right? Although I did kind of expect that. Rana is a princess? Kalua didn't know. Rana was shocked because she thought there wasn't anyone who didn't know her. I'll explain later. Anyway, can they join the guild? Yeah, if I asked them to. They're my servants after all. Okay, I'd like to interview them though. Can I meet with them? Sure. CH89. Does anyone else want to recommend anyone? I know someone. Oh, Chara, who are they? A child of a viscount who's been with my family for a long time. Viscount? I accidentally shouted when I heard that. Hey, don't shout. Sorry, boy, girl. What's their job? You're loud. Of course I'm loud. It's a viscount. Are you unaware of what you just said, Chara? Maybe I shouldn't tell you. Don't say that. I can make them a hero. Chara sighed. But I didn't care. Is it a boy or a girl? Girl. I'll recruit them. Chara sighed as if in regret, but I have no intention of missing this opportunity. Chara, what year are they in and what job? First year. She doesn't have a job yet because she's aiming for Lolita Hero. Lolita Hero is what's known as a debuff attacker. This job had skills ideal for confusing and angering the enemy. It was surprisingly popular with young women who played the game. In short, I definitely want this person in our guild. I want to recruit them immediately. Chara, take me to them and say I can get them the job. Calm down. I understand what Chara is trying to say, but could you trust me more? All of our members thus far have been women. That can't be helped. Female jobs are stronger than male jobs. Of course I also wanted to make a harem, but that's not the main point here. Fine, I'll bring them here soon. I'm looking forward to it. With that we have 9 people, only 1 left. Anyone else? Esther raised her hand. Rana, Chara, and now Esther. Good. I have someone I'd like to recommend. I wonder who it is? CH90. It's a childhood friend of mine. She's an elf and her job is spirit user. I see, an elf. While not great in close quarters combat, they are excellent in magic. They can also use a bow, but through magic they can grow to have a significantly higher DPS. Spirit user is a rather high-ranking job and will be able to become a high-damage dealer without much problem. Although I haven't satisfied any of the requirements to scout an elf, is that going to be okay, Esther? Okay, but Esther, we don't have any house plants or special red fruits or Yggdrasil sapling in our guild. Will that be okay? I have no idea what you're talking about. A gift item. To scout an elf you need those 3 items. Obviously, all of these items are considered rare and are silver chest drops from intermediate tier intermediate level dungeons and beyond. Their only use is being one of the items to recruit an elf. I mean, just like in the game Kalua was recruited for 5 million mia, so it's an obvious question to ask when trying to recruit an elf, isn't it? However, Asta didn't seem to understand. Maybe I should go into this expecting to be rejected? Can you go ahead and ask then? Although she might refuse. Really? I don't think she'd refuse though. Well, just remember that it's a possibility. Okay, for now we've reached 10 people, although we still have to conduct the interviews. Once we rank up we'll need more people, so if you have someone you want to recommend, go ahead and invite them. We'll decide whether to hire them or not after the interview. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Everyone nodded. Alright. Here's the assessment sheet from Maria. Thank you, I didn't have time to stop by today. Don't worry about it, although there's something I want to discuss. I asked Rana, Asta, and Chara about using the anteater bear fur for Kalua's equipment instead of selling it. Sure. I don't mind. Yeah, we don't really have any money problems. I'm jealous. It'll be the same for you soon, Kalua. Yeah, do your best. Alright, that's taken care of. Although Kalua was a little jealous about the others' money situation. Thank you, Fufu. You're welcome. Chara's expression was very kind. I wonder if she likes cute things as well. After the meeting I decided to take the day off from the dungeon and go visit Maria. It's the first time I've taken a break since coming to the school. CH91. Zephyrus. I came to consult with you like you promised I could yesterday. Rana, can't you ask a little nicer? It's fine, I'm a princess and you promised. I mean, as the guild master I'm obviously going to keep my promise, but would it kill you to spoil me a little? Probably not, but why take the chance? Stop messing with Her Highness. I was being completely serious. Then should I spoil you instead? Chara, you'll spoil me? Suddenly an image of the cool beauty that is Chara crossing her arms like a secretary and declaring her love for me flashed in my mind. How much do I have to pay to make this happen? I only have 580,000 mia right now. Is that enough? By all means, please do. I was kidding. Can you teach me more about my job as well? Fine, fine. Just ask me whatever you want. I'll answer it. Hey, teach me too. I'll cry if you don't. I ended up agreeing since Rana looked like she was already half crying. After you finish with Lady Rana and Lady Chara, I too would love to learn from you. Zephyrus, me too. Alright. I'll just teach everyone what they want to know. Zephyrus is so popular. I'll help you as well, Kalua. Just wait for me because you might regret it if you just distribute the points by yourself. Okay, I'll wait. Rana, Chara, and Asta had become level 20 yesterday, opening up the second stage of the jobs. Today we will be selecting the optimum skills and magic for proceeding in the dungeons. It was hard to fit all this information in a small memo, so today became a study session. First, Rana, although to being with you were stuck with buff and healing magic, from this light on you'll be able to select attack magic. This means you'll be able to participate more. Really? Rana slammed her hands on the desk in excitement. Lady Rana, that was improper. Asta was ever vigilant, but she looked happy for Rana. There, Saint, job can use quite powerful attack magic, but it quite far from a damage dealer. It also has good healing magic such as Rain of Life, which is a continuous heal over time that is doubled by the Saint's unique skill, as well as Miracle of Resurrection, which can bring an incapacitated comrade back into the fight. Purification Prayer is also indispensable because it can cure abnormal states. I also gave Rana various instructions regarding her status. Because there was no dragon statue in the room, she ended up having to write her status down on a piece of paper for me. Name, Rana. Category, Royal Family Princess. Job, Saint, LV20. Sup, 21p in total. Limitation, Res +5 or INT +5. HP 90-90-94-94. MP 210/210 340 340. STR 10. VIT 1030. INT 60-110. Res 110-150. AGA 2030. Dex 2230. Sup 168p0p. SP 13p0p. Skills, Luck MP, Automatic Recovery LV1 MP, Consumption Reduction LV1. Magic, Recovery Prayer LV1 Recovery Wish LV1 Prayer for Total Recovery LV1 Reign of Life LV1 Miracle of Resurrection LV1 Purification Prayer LV1 Lion's Blessing LV1 Sacred Devil's Blessing LV1 Guardian's Protection LV1 Magic Protection LV1 Rapid Blessing LV1 Blade of Light LV1 Pillar of Light LV1 Unique Skill Saint's Prayer _ Good. I looked at what she wrote and nodded. With 110 INT she should be able to do enough damage as an attacker. Okay, next. My turn. Next up was Chara. CH92. For there, Shield Maiden. There are two different skills in the second stage of the skill trees for pulling aggro. Guard Stance, and Shield Smite. Unlike Provocation, Guard Stance will pull aggro indiscriminately. Up until now Chara had been using Provocation to skillfully pull aggro from some of the attacking monsters while leaving others to the attackers. However, Guard Stance will pull aggro from all the monsters in the vicinity. However, as we progress, more and more monsters will begin fighting with magic and bows. Because Guard Stance's effective range is further than Provocation, it can be very effective for dealing with these kinds of attacks as well. Shield Smite, on the other hand, is an attack meant for a single enemy. This will mainly be used when fighting the boss. It works better against monster already targeting you, because accompanying the short range of the attack, in order to pull aggro you have to land the attack. After that I focused on elemental damage resistances and abnormal states resistance. The elemental damage resistances included Fire Guard, Freeze Guard, Thunder Guard, Light Guard, and Chaos Guard. Level 1 of these skills cut elemental damage by 20%, however because of the extreme resistance they provided they were not passive skills. They classified as active skills because otherwise they would be broken. Name, Sierra. Category, Count. Job, Shield Maiden. LV20. Sup, 20p in total. Limitation, Vit +5 or Ease +5. HP 228 228 410 410. MP 110/110 140 140. STR 2030. Vit 100 110. INT 10. Rees 4100. AGA 2025. Dex 2025. Sup 160p0p. SP 8p0p. Skills: Provocation LV5 Guard Stance LV1 Shield Smite LV1 Shield Bash LV1 Cover Shield LV1 Fire Guard LV1 Freeze Guard LV1 Thunder Guard LV1 Light Guard LV1 Chaos Guard LV1 Abnormal Condition Resistance LV1 Shielding Technique LV5 Flowing Shield Technique LV5 Luck Magic None. Unique Skill Unacquired _ The future plan is to raise the level of abnormal condition resistance. As for her unique skill, it can't be acquired until level 40 when the third stage of the job opens up. How's that? Good. But this being preparation for the future means that the next monsters we run into will require me to use this, right? Yeah. She guessed the contents of the next dungeon by the skills I'd picked out for her, although for some reason she seemed to look a little pale. Although if it ends up being too difficult for her I can always swap out as tank. Well, I guess I'll have to overcome it someday or another. May as well do it sooner rather than later. Chara looked very cool when she said that, but it's probably best not to overdo it. Alright, next up is Esther. Thanks for waiting. No problem, I am here to learn. Sure. Just take it easy. Actually for Esther the route I think is best requires her to wait longer and save more SP. As of now there's not actually much she can do. I feel a little guilty for having Rana AMD Chara get so many skills in comparison. However Esther put her full trust in me and did exactly as I said. Hopefully I don't get her excommunicated or kicked out of her family or anything. So, which skills should I get? First, Precious Thrust, and then Legion Thrust. Precious Thrust is similar to Long Thrust, however it deals more damage because it has a light element added onto it. Legion Thrust, however, is a skill that is capable of damaging multiple opponents quickly. It's something like a continuous thrust attack. Precious Thrust was raised to level 5. The theory is the same as my physical strengthening. At level 5 the initial damage from the light effect will be almost 2 times as strong. However, it doesn't actually increase all that much from level 5 to level 10, so the theory is to just leave it at level 5 to start. And then next is Lance Assault. This skill is actually more powerful when mounted, although it can be used while not mounted as well. Are you dissatisfied because you only got 3 skills? No, I'm as grateful as always. Name, Esther. Category, Knight. Job, Princess Knight. LV20. Sup, 20p in total. Limitation, STR plus 5. HP 126 126 192 192. MP 80/80 140 140. STR 100 150. VIT 40/70. INT 10. RES 40/60. AGA 40/60. DEX 20. SUP 120p 0p. SP 14p 3p. Skills: Long Thrust LV5, Riding LV1, Precious Thrust LV5, Legion Thrust LV1, Lance Assault LV5, Knowledge of Two-Handed Spear LV5. Luck. Magic, none. Unique skill, unacquired. Esther has high STR, but it's important to raise RES as well because going forward it may be difficult to completely avoid ranged attacks. And with the limitation of 5 STR, it's a good idea to distribute what you can into other areas as well to keep yourself balanced. Next up is Hannah and the Kahlua, CH93. Let's start off with my status. Name, Zephyrus. Category, Main Character. Job, Brave. LV26. Sup, 22p in total. No limit. HP 222 222 228 228. MP 272/272 304 304. STR 8100 times 1.6. VIT 7100 times 1.6. INT 7080 times 1.6. RES 6080 times 1.6. AGA 6100 times 1.6. DEX 2022 times 1.6. SUP 132p 0p. SP 6p 0p. Skills: Body Strengthening LV10, Intuition LV5, Appeal LV5, Sonic Sword LV5, Hate/LV1, Defense LV1, MP Automatic Recovery LV1, Abnormal Condition Resistance LV3, Luck. Magic, Shine Lightning LV1, Aura Heal LV1, Recovery LV1. Unique skill, Hero's Sword. With 3 skills at 100, this means that along with the bonus I essentially have 3 skills at 160 right now. As for new skills, Hate Slash is a slash that pulls aggro, so it's best to use it on the boss because it has to hit for it to work, although if you're looking for damage it's best to use Sonic Sword. Next up is Defense. It's a good skill that can be used to cover others. When using the skill you take up defensive stance where you pit your defense against the incoming attack. It's very useful for charging or rush attacks. If the defensor wins, it causes a knockback effect to the enemy which essentially creates the perfect opening for a counterattack. It also greatly reduces any damage received. Next up is Hannah. Name, Hannah. Category, Villager. Job, Alchemist. LV29. Sup, 14p in total. Limitation, Dex plus 5. HP 30/30. MP 80/80 380 380. STR 10. VIT 10. INT 10. RES 19 101. AGA 10. Dex 65 205. SUP 322p 0p. SP 23p 4p. Skills: Alchemy LV10, Compounding LV10, Material Return LV10, Luck Strike Resistance. Magic, Fireball LV2. Unique skill, unacquired. As someone with a production job, Hannah has a status not built for combat at all. In fact, she only has 3 skills, all of which are max level, although from here on she should be saving her SP for the 3rd stage, which opens up at level 40. You should keep going like this until level 40. Okay, but I'd like to raise my level up to 40 in the dungeon if possible. Unfortunately the intermediate tier dungeon's level limit is 35. In order to raise it to 40 she would have to enter the upper tier dungeons, which is impossible with this status. However, since Hannah has been with me since the starting village, I want to try and make this happen for her. I'll give it some thought. Next up is Kalua. As a Starkert, I believe this will be the strongest path for you to take. Is it okay with you to proceed this way? As I said this, I handed Kalua a memo. But after reading it she turned to me and, I don't understand this at all. You don't understand? Maybe we should bleach her hair blonde so the rest of the world knows what they're about to walk into. Okay, I'll break it down for you. To put this simply, this is the route I want you to take with your job. Starkert isn't suitable as a frontline attacker and is better suited as a scout or rouge. It's a job that focuses on speed. It even has skills that can be used to pass through traps without setting them off using pure speed. It excels at cutting enemies off with its high mobility. It's a very strong job. As such, we're going to focus on speed. Oh, good luck Zephyrus. I'm not entirely sure how to reply to that. I took my time carefully explaining each step so she wouldn't make a mistake, because if you make a mistake you can't just redo it. Name, Kalua. Category, Catman Beastman. Job, Starkert, LV6. Sup, 19p in total. Limitation, AG +7. HP 30-30-62-62. MP 20/20 50-50. STR 1040. VIT 1020. INT 10. RES 10. AG 1060. Times 1.3. Dex 1014. Sup 72p 0p. SB 11p 0p. Skills: Agility boost LV5, dual wield LV5, knife throwing LV1, luck. Magic, none. Unique skill, unacquired. It's important to increase stats other than agility with the remaining sup even though it's a class that focuses on speed. The reason being because even if you leave Agi alone it will steadily increase. But if you don't increase the other stats, then when you get to higher levels you'll have the issue of being very fast but unable to do much else besides run around. The three main things for Starkert to aim for is mobility, speed, and firepower. There are three types of skills to look at. The first are passive skills like Agility Boost, which is a downgraded version of my skill, Body Strengthening. This skill only increases AG but it's very useful. I want to raise that to level 10 quickly. Next, Dual Wield, will increase her damage with the two daggers. Lycoster's two-handed spear. Knowledge, it is a passive skill. Although it doesn't raise the status, it increases damage output. Next is Knife Throwing. This is a long-range attack skill that shoots out a phantom blade. It's very useful in hit-and-run maneuvers. For the time being I want her to aim for level 20. With just those three skills. CH94. After helping everyone with their statuses, Rana gave the following opinion. I wanna try it out. Rana's eyes were sparkling like a child that just got a new toy. Although I guess it can't be helped because it is her first attack magic. I wish I could say okay, but sorry, I need you to hang here with me a bit longer. Before that I have something I want to show you all. What is it? It better be something big if you're stopping me. I don't actually need your consent, Rana. I took out the guild flag from my item bag. Tada. Whoa. Everyone cheered when they saw it. I received this from Maria yesterday. I spread it out on the desk for everyone to see. Zephyrus, this emblem is really cool. I agree completely, Hannah. I thought it might have been finished a little too quickly, but this is amazing. The colors are beautiful as well. Yeah, it looks so lively and dynamic. If you had something this good you should have taken it out from the beginning. The emblem seemed to be popular with everyone. This looks like it could be a valuable art piece. Yeah, if Dad saw it he would probably use it to decorate our home. Oh Esther, your dad did have a hobby of collecting art, didn't he? Yeah. He seems to be really enthusiastic about paintings recently. Although there are a few guild emblems on display as well, Esther's dad seems to be quite rich because artwork can end up being pretty expensive. Although as a knight who's a forward attacker in dungeons he doesn't seem to be having any issue with money. Hannah, do you prefer cool things or cute things? I like both. Right, I agree with Hannah too. What do you think is the coolest here, huh? Well, that maybe Zephyrus. Zephyrus.s. Equipment. He has nice equipment. Yeah, He does have pretty cool equipment. I thought I was being called, so I turned around, but both Rana and Hannah turned red and looked away. Is this a decoration? Yeah, it's Eden's guild emblem. I'm jealous. Yeah. Sorry about that. I can't change it anymore. That's okay. Am I just jealous? Kalia stared at the emblem. It seems like she was jealous. THST everyone but her was represented, although it can't be helped because if I asked Maria to change it now she might cry. After everyone got a good look, I hung the flag up above his kittiness. Now we're starting to look like a guild. That's good. I'm really starting to feel like part of a team now, right? That's the power of the guild emblem. Let's head for S rank and make this emblem proud. Yeah, alright, if you leave your equipment with Maria in the evening sometime this weekend, she'll have the embroidering done by the morning. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. Everyone stared at the emblem thinking about their equipment. Even I am looking forward to the weekend. CH95. I'm going to go try this out. Lady Rana, I will go with you. Can I go too? Me too. Then let's all go. It seems like everyone is going to the practice area. I wonder if I should tag along as well. In the end our entire guild went to the practice area. But when we arrived we saw a bunch of students there with blue embroidery on their uniforms. Are these all our classmates? Are they here for a class? There's a teacher here but they seem to just be directing. Is it self-study? Let's go over to an empty spot then. There's a spot over there. Okay, let's go. There was a spot where some long-distance targets were set up but no one was there. As we moved a lot of people turned to look at us. Oi, look. Wow, it's the princess. Is that there? Hero S Guild? I heard all the strongest first years are in it. I wonder if it would be hard for us to join. Damn that hero. Making a guild full of women just because he's handsome, has good equipment and a good job. If we had what he did. Nah, it's not possible for you guys. The hero looks so honest. It seems like many of them are jealous or want to join. Since we're aiming for S rank, I'll have to think about how to reject them. I'm thinking of declining all join requests from the general public for now. Although we need production jobs like Hannah, next time thinking about a dwarf blacksmith, but no one like that has appeared yet. Although most of the first years don't have jobs yet, that may change at the end of the month. Zephyrus. Can we start? Oops, it seems like I got distracted. Rana was already standing at the 20 meters mark. It seems like everyone else was waiting to get a look at her magic as well. Oh sorry, sure. Why don't you start off with Light Blade? Okay, Light Blade. A huge 2 meters long crescent moon-shaped blade of light shot out from Rana's hand. Hiya! It landed a little to the left and Rana let out a scream. Probably because it was stronger and louder than she expected. As intermediate magic, Light Blade was quite powerful after all. By the way, the training field was made using an artifact as well. Even if you destroyed the targets they'll automatically repair after a while. One more time. I'm going to hit it this time. She immediately shot out another, but this time it hit to the right of the target. You need to be fully aware of your target. Keep your eyes fixed on what you want to hit and don't look away when you shoot. As with all sports, it's important not to look away from what you're trying to hit. Got it. Light Blade. Third time's the charm. Rana's blade of light smashed perfectly into the target. I did it. Yeah, good job Rana, you hit it on your third try. That was wonderful Lady Rana. Hee. What did you expect? I wasn't sure if it was talent or a fluke, but she did manage to hit it. Good work Rana. Now try and hit the others until you get used to it. Leave it to me. It seems it was talent after all. Rana's accuracy improved immediately after she got the hang of firing her magic. Normally the next step would be to move up to a moving target, but I thought it would be better to keep working on accuracy until she exhausted her MP. But when I said that, Rana immediately started complaining. What? But I hit all of my last 10 shots. I want to move on to a moving one. I didn't think she was ready yet. New attacks take time to get used to. If you suddenly switched to a moving target you could get confused, so I decided to try a different approach. Adjust the attack timing? Yes. Well, time how long it takes to land the attack from when you activate it. Then you try and keep it as close to that time as possible. The goal is to firmly grasp how long it takes to land an attack. I don't get it. Practice landing a hit in only 3 seconds. 3 seconds? This technique is necessary for the guild to rank up in the future. It's said that if a player can aim, activate and land a hit in just 3 seconds, they are considered S rank. Once it gets down to 3 seconds you should be able to fire off magic as easy as breathing. Of course some magic is slower than others, so it's necessary to take positioning into account as well. Yes, Magic's speed is constant, so the next thing to practice is aiming and landing a hit in just 3 seconds. You say that like it's easy. That's because I understand skills and magic. It won't be hard once you get used to it. Just try it out. Okay, I'll be strong if I can do it right. Rather than being strong, it's a technique that makes it easier to win. How is that different from being stronger? Rana began practicing with her notebook in one hand. After a bit of teaching, contrary to my expectations, Rana seemed to be getting the hang of it. She actually seemed kind of reliable. CH96. On the practice field, Rana and the other members were practicing their new skills and cooperating with each other while using them. Everyone else seemed to be quite interested and had stopped their own training to watch. If you don't hurry and get your own jobs, the distance between us will only grow, you know. Wow, I'm sweating a lot. Yeah. That was a worthwhile use of our time. Watching the three beauties wipe their sweat off was actually kind of sexy, although in comparison. Thanks Hannah. Kalua, you should wipe yourself down as well. For some reason the Lily group was wiping their sweat off while standing bolt upright. T/N. If while reading this you're wondering why they didn't just go shower, it has to do with the types of sweat glands or something or another. After playing soccer or something in the park with my friends while I was in Japan, I was usually quite jealous because I always kinda stank and wanted a shower while my mates just wiped themselves off with hand towels and were fine. Meanwhile they all asked if I forgot to shower that morning, so we dropped by my place so I could shower before we went on with our day, and I came out to them all on their phones telling me apparently I'm just predisposed to stink. That was a fun conversation, lol. Lots of new hard to understand words, and there's nothing much like finding out your friends just googled why do westerners smell bad. Rana was off to the side taking a break due to mana depletion while sipping juice. It's noon. Good work. Yeah, we decided to split up for lunch and meet back up later. After eating lunch in the cafeteria I decided to go shopping. Although my balance was just 580,000, so it would be difficult to update any of my equipment. Oh. This looks nice. I passed by a shop and noticed a large stuffed animal there. Since all of our guild members were girls, I was worried that his kittiness would be defiled again. But when I reached out, my hand overlapped with someone else who was reaching for it at the same time. It seems like a girl had appeared next to me without me noticing. Our eyes met. She had a long ponytail covered by some kind of headgear. It covered her whole face. Was she in disguise? I could tell she was a first year by her blue skirt. Had I seen her somewhere? It felt like I was having déjà vu. Did I see her in the game or something? No, I didn't remember anyone like this. Did you want this stuffed animal as well? She talked to me as I was trying to remember. Why, yeah, but there's only one. This is troublesome. I feel like I've heard this way of speaking before. I searched my memory but couldn't remember. I decided this was probably my first time meeting her. I'll go ask the staff and see if they have another. Please wait a moment. But I held out my head to stop her. No, it's okay. I'll find something else. You can buy it. I had given up and was about to leave, but she stopped me. Wait, you wanted this oversized stuffed animal too? There's no reason to just give up. I mean, I didn't really want it that much. Besides, even if I bought it, it would just get kidnapped by my guild members. No, I'll be easily satisfied with something else. If someone really wants it, they should be the one to buy it. I see. Is it really okay? Go ahead. Thank you. It was nice to see her running off to buy it with a huge smile on her face. But then something troublesome happened. It comes out to 120,000 mia. 120,000? Her sorrowful cry echoed around the store. Luckily I was the only other customer. What about 5,000 mia? Sorry, no mercy. But as expected you couldn't buy it for only 1/24th of the price. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. She seemed to think that if she didn't buy it now that I would, and it would be gone forever. Her hand was like a steel vice on the bear's arm, like she was unwilling to let it go. No. Where did the dignified girl from earlier go? What am I supposed to do in this situation? CH97. I was walking back home after shopping with the girl I'd met at the store. You are sorry for causing you trouble. It's fine, I had my eye on it as well, so I can let you enjoy it this much at least. In the end I had bought the oversized stuffed animal. The reason for it being so expensive was because apparently a famous third year made it using rare materials. Therefore it was a one-of-a-kind item that was unlikely to be duplicated. When the staff explained this The girl beside me had looked like she was drowning in despair. For that reason I had proposed an alternative. I would buy it and hold on to it for now. After she saved up enough money, she could come to me and I would sell it to her. I didn't find it troublesome or anything, so I'd be happier if you just say thank you. Right. It was nice of you to forget how I acted. I will happily show you my appreciation. Thank you very much. You're welcome. She seems like she a good person at heart. Oh, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Rika. I'm aiming for the Dungeon Strategy Major/Combat Division. She introduced herself. I didn't remember anyone with that name, so it was our first time meeting after all. But why is she in disguise? It's probably better not to ask. I'll just introduce myself for now. I'm Zephyrus, here a level 26, unofficially in Dungeon Strategy/Combat Division. I see, your generosity is nothing like the rumors. I was in a normal uniform right now. My equipment had been placed on a purification tool in my room. I wanted it to be shiny for the next time I wore it. But because I wearing it, Rika didn't recognize me. Although of course, on top of that, we'd never met. Since I was just going shopping, I didn't see any reason why I shouldn't go out in my uniform. Besides, this uniform has its own appeal and I like to enjoy wearing it sometimes. After that, we were walking along the road as I listened to Rika talk. It was a little too early for her to feel thankful after listening to her talk. Apparently, as Rika didn't have a job yet, she couldn't enter the dungeon and was living off of money she got from her sister. As such, it would be nearly impossible for her to come up with 120,000 mia. Because you have to update your equipment as well, it will be nearly impossible to get the money unless you go to the intermediate tier dungeon. Although even then the market has been flooded with materials from both dungeons, so the price of the materials has gone down as well. If you go into the dungeons now with a party of 5, at best you'll be able to earn 20-30,000 mia per day at best. Meaning it could take 2 or 3 months before she has enough money to buy the stuffed animal from me. I didn't want to keep this a secret from her, so I quickly told her my thoughts on the matter. Really? I somehow got the impression that she was quite ignorant when it came to the dungeons, and took a look at what she was wearing. There I saw a familiar symbol, a sword keychain. Rika was the daughter of a marquis. Now, what should I do about this little girl? Someone from the marquis category has access to the samurai job. This is a very strong job that can be used as both a tank and as an attacker. There are also other jobs such as girl in a box, which is also for some reason a pretty strong magic using job. Rika, I have something I'd like to talk to you about. Can you come to my guild for a bit? I shoved the stuffed animal into my item bag. CH98. If you join Eden, you'll be able to play with the stuffed as much as you want. I'll join. That was fast. After mentioning how difficult it would be to save up the money, she was instantly ready to sign up. Although had she thought about it a little more, her equipment would probably be provided for her by her family, so it would be easier than most to save up the money, since all of the mia you get as rewards from the dungeon would go directly to you. But I'm not going to tell her that. Although I do have one concern. Is Rika prepared to aim for S rank with the rest of us? Well, it doesn't matter. It was this way in the game as well, but if someone doesn't fit in with the guild rules and ideology, they can always be dismissed. If you join our guild, the stuffed animal will however be the common property of the guild. That's okay, right? Of course. In other words, I'm saying that if Rika leaves the guild, she will never again be able to touch it. It's a weak bond. Someone would be able to say, I don't need it, and leave. But for some reason I can't imagine her being able to do that. When we arrive at the guild, I'll take out the oversized stuffed animal and place it on the desk. It would be nice if this stopped his kittiness from being defiled. These were the thoughts in my head as I opened the door. Oh, Zephyrus is here. Oh, is everyone here? Rana and the others were all gathered in the guild. It seems like they all came here together. Who's that? What's wrong, Cal? Zephyrus. Who is that child with you? At the sound of Hannah's voice, everyone turned to look at Rika. Oh, this is Rika. She just joined our guild. First year. Rika, I'll be part of your guild from now on. I hope we can get along. Rika took off her headgear and greeted the other members with her black ponytail swaying. It's another girl. Zephyrus, you said that you'd run out of acquaintances, but the second we take our eyes off you, you show up with another girl. Lady Rana, calm down. Rana is quickly scorned by Esther for being overly excited. She's pretty. Yeah, the Lilai group couldn't help but stare at Rika. who was quite beautiful without her mask. Also compared to the lawless Rika's height contributed to a model-like appearance similar to Chara. Rana, Chara, you're a member too, and the princess? You didn't know? I just met him. I haven't really gotten a detailed explanation yet. For some reason Chara was looking at me accusingly. It was decided suddenly. I just didn't have time. Well, whatever. But Rika, are you sure this is okay? You could join your sister's guild. Wait, that's not possible, is it? Yeah, it would be okay if I at least had a good job, but I'm still just stuck with Bushido. Oh, you know each other? Chara knows a lot of people. Rita's house is special. I used to play with Rika's sisters a lot growing up because of the frequent interaction between our houses. I'm the youngest of 4 sisters, but my sisters were all in the same age group. Along with Chara and other girls, it was really fun back then. Rika and Chara looked thrilled to be seeing each other again after such a long time. Are any of your sisters going to this school? Well, we all are. Seriously? In other words, there are 4 more marquis that I have to investigate. Although my oldest sister has already graduated, she works here as a teacher. Then the elder sister will have to be excluded. My other sisters are both in the same guild, but it's a higher ranking guild. So because I'm a new student I can't join. The guild rules in this world apply to sisters as well. If you recruit unqualified members you'll eventually destroy yourself. My sisters were trying to teach me how to make jobs show up, but it honestly wasn't going very well. Around that time Zephyrus found me. To be honest though, I haven't had any recruitment offers from any other guild either. I see that Rika was probably thinking about her future when she was recruited by me. But is she naive enough to be recruited specifically for the stuffed animal? I feel little bad now. This is who I am now. But now that I'm a member of your guild I promise to do my absolute best. Good. Welcome to our guild. Rana was the first to react and the other members followed after her. I'm Kalua. Nice to meet you. My name is Hannah. It's a pleasure to meet you. Esther, I'm Lady Rana's escort. Nice to meet you. I'll be counting on you. Rika. Rana was the only one who didn't introduce herself. CH99. Wait. What's with that stuffed animal? It's so cute. Rana's eyes were shining. Let me tell you. Did Rika really say tell you instead of explain or something? She had stepped forward with a rather crisp look. That's okay, just let me touch it. Rana ignored her like nothing had happened and Rika's expression appeared sunken. Meanwhile, Chara appeared intent on changing the topic of conversation. Rika, what's your job? I'm ashamed to say that I haven't acquired one yet. Then you can just ask Zephyrus. He can help you get the job you want. Rana threw out a suggestion as she went over to Hannah and Esther to play with the stuffed animal. They weren't defiling his kittiness, which THST alone was worth the 120,000 mia. Alright. I haven't heard what job you're aiming for. If you don't know, would you like me to suggest some? Was she not joking when she said you could get me the job I wanted? It's not a joke. Everyone here got their jobs after being instructed by Zephyrus. Why does Rana look so proud? Is she proud of me? If you don't have one in mind, I'd like to recommend 4 THST you can choose from. Okay? Okay, please do. Demonic Ronin was one with the strongest attack in the samurai tree. After that came Female Samurai, which could be an attacker or a tank. After that came Samurai Warrior, and then Secluded Girl. All of these were strong, but since she was a girl I kind of wanted her to choose one of the female-specific jobs. I've never heard of these. I was ready to explain her chosen route in detail, but her reaction was very slow. As the daughter of a samurai, I don't think I could spend time becoming a witch. That's unfortunate. Although it would be difficult to try and change a person who has the knowledge and training needed to be a samurai into a witch. Can't be helped, I guess. Could I really become a female samurai? Even my more talented sisters couldn't reach it. Well, even if you think we're tricking you, why not just move forward with it, and then if you do get it, you profit from it? No, Zephyrus, you have a mysterious persuasive power. What you say is probably correct. I'm sorry. You don't have to apologize. We decided to work on Rika's job tonight as I had a prior obligation with Maria and it was about time for her to be getting out of class. Is Maria here? I'm here. When we arrived, a pigtailed elementary schooler ran up to us. Sorry, I meant Maria. Oh, you've gotten more members. We've gained 2 new people. I wanted to discuss getting some equipment done, while they wanted to negotiate the assessment table. So we ended up all deciding to come together. I see. It's kind of narrow here, so why don't we head further inside? It was certainly a little cramped where we were, so we all followed Maria towards a larger space in the back where we got her to remove the anteater bear fur from the items being sold and make Kalua's equipment from it instead. I have no complaints, as long as you let us handle the making of the equipment. You're fast. They decided to take Kalua's measurements immediately and I was kicked out of the store. As expected, a man can't be present while they take a female's measurements. Everyone else remained behind except Rika. I ate a quick meal and then headed back to my room to help Rika meet the requirements for her job. By the way, the previous dungeon run earned us each 1.56 million mia. A total of 7.8 million was split between us, meaning the average boss earned us around 300,000. When Rika saw the reward amount, she'd said something like, "I could buy so many of those rare stuffed animals. There's only one though, Rika." CH100. After playing Slime Pop, Rika successfully acquired Female Samurai. It required you have a sword equipped, but luckily Rika had one in the room. Aristocrats have all sorts of conveniences. It's quite a good sword as well. It increases STR. Using her sword, she was able to meet the requirements after only 200 slimes. That's so surprising. This isn't a dream, is it? Just like I said, right? Congratulations on awakening. Thank you, Zephyrus. It's all thanks to you. Now that she has a job, our next goal is to get her to level 6 and teach her the strongest build. Female Samurai is a melee attacker or tank. Since you can't use magic, you specialize in close quarters. It's a job that excels in a one-on-one fight. It may seem weaker when the number of enemies increase, but it's particularly useful in boss fights where the boss is a single entity. In the position of tank, it doesn't use a shield, but it's good at partying and defending with a weapon. I explained all this while Rika took notes. Kind of like that. What do you think? It makes sense. If all the other members are following Zephyrus' advice, then I have no complaints. Name, Rika. Category, Marquis. Job, Female Samurai, LV6. Sup, 20p in total. Limitation, STR +5 or VIT +5. HP 30 96 96. MP 20/20 50 50. STR 1040. VIT 1040. INT 10. Res 10. AGA 1025. Dex 1025. Sup 120p 0p. SB 11p 0p. Skills: Twin Swords LVL5, Dual LVL2, Counter LVL1, Counter Attack LVL1, Twin Sword Strike LVL1. Self-Proclamation. Magic, none. Unique skill, unacquired. There, Female Samurai, defends by directly parrying an opponent's strikes, so I had her increase dex as it helps make it easier to do so. Next is the attack style, which generally comes down to either the single sword or twin sword style. The single sword style mainly fights through defense and counter attacks. However, my recommendation is the twin sword style, where you have a smaller sword in one hand to be used for defense and parrying, while the other, longer sword, is used to attack. This style also allows you to switch into a dual sword defense if the enemy attacks are too intense. Of course, on the opposite side of the spectrum, you can also switch to attacking with both swords. As for skills, dual is a skill that actually helps build your attack power in one-on-one fights. The more you attack, the more power there is behind each attack. However, attacking a different opponent resets the counter. The next three skills are all used to deflect or counter the opponent's attacks. They're active defense skills. It helps you offset the attacks and deal damage while defending yourself. Finally, Self-Proclamation. This skill pulls aggro much like my appeal skill and Chara's provocation. Unfortunately, this left her without any direct attack skills, but they will come once she reaches level 20 and opens up the second set of skills. This is awesome. It all seems fairly reasonable as well, so there's no problem. I thought there might be an issue with the twin swords. True. It's unusual for samurai to use more than one sword. However, this is set up in a defensive style that matches my tastes, so it did alright. That's good. It's almost 9 p.m. now and it seems like it's a good time to wrap up for dinner. With you and Kalua working together, you should be able to make it up to the beginner level intermediate tier dungeons. Yeah, I want to challenge the dungeons as soon as possible. I'm really looking forward to it. Kalua's equipment won't be ready until tomorrow evening, so if you to pass the tutorial dungeon during the day, then you should be able to continue onto the lower tier dungeons the day after. Okay, that seems rational. Let's do that then. The next goal is to recruit more members and aim for re-rank. The only requirement is that the leader has to have cleared all 3 beginner-level upper-tier dungeons. Eden is on its way, step by step to become the strongest. I'm really looking forward to it.